change the music sometimes. They don't like down pressing man. So up pressing man. Up presser man. I'm not gonna sing Peter Tosh down presser man. I'm on the bottom of it. But there's a natural mystic blowing through the air. The problem though is you have to listen carefully now for you to hear. This might be the first trumpet, might as well be the last. Many more will have to suffer. Many more will have to die. Don't ask Gerard why. Many things are not the way they used to be. Things aren't the way but they've been the same way since JFK. Don't tell any lies. It's political season, but don't tell any lies. One and all, we gotta face reality now. Though I try to find the answers to all the questions they ask, although I know it's impossible to go living through the past. Don't tell no lies. There's a natural mystic blowing on the news. You gotta listen carefully or you'll just get the old. If you listen carefully now, you will hear. Well, I don't know what happened earlier. It's hot. Maybe it's too hot for there's a natural mystic blowing through the air. And in order to hear it, you gotta look at the last fallen king. If you don't know what happened to the last fallen king, you will be clueless as to what is the problem on this planet. Or certainly in your land. Look at JFK. Look at the last fallen king. Because usually those who felled the last king are the family that's in power right now. Yes, I got that from the Game of Thrones because that's how it works. The kings don't do a damn thing. It's always power above the kings and lords. And you need to simply throw your Sabo into the machine when the machine hiccups. When the machine has a problem, take off your Sabo and Sabo the Taj. That's all you got to do because you're never going to know who's behind the kings and lords. Never going to know. We're not in a position to know. Now, I don't know what happened earlier. Apologize for the early broadcast, but it's hot. That's probably the problem. It's 92 degrees and it's 11:27 here. And that's probably the problem. Hang on, let me get my comments. It's probably just too hot. I don't like to work in the heat. I don't like slavery. I don't like forced labor. I don't like, if you look at the history of the Sabo, I think we should take these wooden shoes off and throw them in the machine. But I got to pick cotton today, and it's hot, and I don't feel like it, but this is the world that we live in. How come I can't bring up? There we go. Oh, nothing will act right today. Let me make sure I'm not on Wi-Fi. Well, secret societies. There's always a secret society, and if you don't know is not on TV and it's not your society, you won't know their secrets. Oh my goodness, how come this isn't working? There we go. Off of Wi-Fi. Get off of Wi-Fi. Get everything off of Wi-Fi just in case that's the problem. Just in case that I don't have the bandwidth and my Wi-Fi can't get it up. Need a little Viagra on the router. There we go. Right, hang on. Boom, click. Click, dummy. Click. That's not working. How come I can't click? There we go. All right, there we go. Now we're going to get it started. Woo, it's hot. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing this morning? How your mama doing? How your grandmama doing? Everybody doing good? Because, it's hot here. I am not among the air-conditioned privilege. So this may not go long. Yeah, right. I'm sweating, but that's okay. I got my deodorant right here. I got my lemon right next to me. So I'm not cooking up no onions. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? What's the name of this? Ooh, it's hot. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry I'm so late, but it's hot. I have to get up, and I got to water, and I got to do those things early because I can't do them late. Can't do them late. Not when it's hot like this. I got slavery, forced labor. Get out the house, do what you got to do early. Now I'm in the house and it's probably 85 degrees here because I am not among the air-conditioned privilege. I am not. No, I'm not. I gave up that lifestyle, so I'm going to sit here and sweat it out. I'm going to sweat it out. Hang on. It's better for somebody else to take that on and learn from that. Like, you know, not only did I give up my privileged life, I gave up my privileged air condition too. It's hot as hell. It's gonna get hot in here, and I'm probably gonna have to take off all my clothes, but that'll be after the camera goes off, because I don't nobody want to see that. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Thanks for checking out the High Low Vibe Love Tribe yesterday. Who's that, Amanda? Oh, thank you, Amanda. Good morning, Kim Jackson. Muggy here. Oh, it's Muggy AF there too. Yeah, oh, it's Muggy AF here. I got my lemon right. Here go my deodorant right here. I got mine ready to go. Ready to go. You can't, when you running from zombies, you don't want to smell like no onions, because they catch up to you. Woo, get a generator. Well, you know what, Tony? That's part of why I live where I do. Right? I live in little grandmama house. You know, when I left the privileged world, at the time I was leaving the marriage too. I needed some peace in my life. And so I need a house where I'm not ignorant. You know, I was on that McMansion path, but thank goodness something just stopped my brakes, got me turned back around, left that luxury apartment, and decided that, no, you know what? I just gonna find me a little grandmama house, one that can be powered on a few solar panels. I was a doomsday prepper a long time ago, and if you got a big ignorant McMansion, first of all, you're not gonna be able to keep it anyway, because the bank's gonna take that back. They're gonna take that back with the land that it's sitting on. Not that you ever owned the land. That's what's always afoot. I'm not focused on the pandemic. I don't care about the plandemic, because I already knew it was planned. I'm focusing on the global power consolidation demic. That's what you need to think about. Because they want your land, your resources, those secret societies that the last sitting king told us about. And the JFK was the last king of America, while everybody's all fighting about Donald Trump before Donald Trump. And I'm just like, just focus on the last king that was dethroned. That's where the power ceased. The power is going to sit behind every other king that comes along, because they're not really the kings. The kings haven't had power in a long time. It's always been the coffers. Focus on that. That's all I'm saying on that one. Secret societies. JFK gave the speech. I was going to listen to it, but I think most of y'all have heard that. You've already heard the speech of the last fallen king, so you know that the real powers aren't on TV. You can watch TV and the news if you want to, but if you ain't reading between the lines, you will have no idea what to do. You'll have no idea what's going on. That's all. Always read between the lines. Strategize. I'm a strategist by trade. That's why I make the obscure posts that I do. I was an activist. I did, what is that called? There's that root problem. I was a root problem analyst. That's what it was. Big long word. That's not what I did, but that's what I did, but that's not the title that I had. And strategize, right? We had to always strategize. We had to look at, okay, what is the actual problem in the system? Bake it down and beat it down till you get to the actual root problem. Knowing that every conference room you went into, everybody has some fake news they need to throw up to just push you away from the actual problem, because usually it's their department. It's their software, it's their piece, it's their cog, it's not working, piece of software that they bought that they don't want to tell their boss about. But you have to be able to look through the bullshit. You got to be able to read between the lines. Know the secret societies have always been in power, and they no longer sit in houses like that. Don't worry about the big house. Don't worry about the White House. They don't live there no more. That's 200, 300 years ago. That transferred into logos. Logos. You ever want to know, should you ever find yourself in a time of oppression, you have no idea who has the power, and you feel that you might want to fight the power. You feel like you might want to rage against the machine. You get the feeling that you need to throw your wooden Sabo into the machinery. You're tired of forced labor. You want to free yourself. You will know who's in power by who is advertising the most. That's all you got to do. See, if you want to turn on your the television is useful. It's just not in the news. The news is there for lies. It's there to get the gullible who actually think the real world is on television. Right? You got to look at the commercials. That's who works for those who hold the power. Look at the commercials. Big pharmaceutical industry, gas, banking. Just look at the commercials. You'll know who is closest to the people who actually hold the power. But the kings and the lords haven't had a power for a very long time. Obscure. You mean Gerardian, encrypted, obtuse, pontifications. Exactly, Beaufont. That's why I pontificate, and it's obtuse and it's obscure. I haven't been to Facebook jail in damn near 2 months now. I'm trying to stay out. I'm trying to reform myself. Facebook will let you say the things that are true. You just can't say them flat out, you know, but you got to have a strategy. And if you don't know who actually holds the power, you're going to be throwing your Sabo, your wooden shoes at the wrong people. And if you throw them at the wrong people, you just in your barefoot and you ain't got no shoes. And the machine is still moving. Do like the workers did. They knew the problem. The problem was the machine. They took up their Sabo and they threw it into the machine to sabotage. Oh, how am I cooler in Texas right now than you are there? Anna, because they've screwed up the planet. They've destroyed the weather. And everybody said, yes, climate change. He's going to talk about climate change. No, actually got weather weapons. They've had those since like the 1940s. And they're not really weapons. It's just technology. It's just satellites. JFK told you that one too. JFK and Lyndon Johnson said they had satellites to modify cloud cover. He who modifies the cloud cover rules the world. And they've been doing that ever since, but that's never on TV. You got to read between the lines. They told you climate change, that the climates would change, and now they're changing. But the television tells you it's cow farts, so I guess it must be cow farts. They've jacked the weather up. And JFK told us that a long time ago with LBJ. Production crew is fired. Yeah, Beaufont, I fired all of them. They all got to get the hell out of here. So it's 92 today. I'm going to sweat it out. I'm not sure if I can get out in the garden today. It's going to be a scorcher today. Oh, we know. We just don't acknowledge that we know. What do we know, Tiana, that we don't acknowledge that we know? Good morning, Ivana. Yo, Patty's been a minute. Where you been? Asking for prayers, y'all. My son had a second grand mal seizure this morning. All right, well, definitely everyone take a quiet time, take a moment for Patty's son today, because we're all in this together. We're all in it together, whether people like it or not. You know, this is where the whole understanding of consciousness and dark energy and spirituality, and that's why we go down that quantum physics, religion, spiritual path, because that is very true. And we have to wish those well. We can manifest the things that we want to bring into existence. And so certainly good feelings, good vibes, positive energy going up to Patty's son. All right. Hey, Gerard. Thanks for checking in on High Vibe, Low Vibe yesterday. I'm not sure what is that. Oh yeah, Jesse was doing the live stream. Yeah, I jumped in there yesterday. Good to see that we need to have more live streams. I keep telling people we need more information. We don't need less. We need less mainstream media and more of y'all. Even if you just turn on the camera and get into poetry. If you get into breaking down books like Brother Jonathan Close, like everybody has a skill set and we need to hear from everybody. And I know y'all are fighting that. I'm not a camera person. You don't have to be. You actually don't have to cut on your camera. You can just speak, but we need to hear from everybody. And don't ever worry about who shows up. Don't worry about building an audience. Don't worry about how many people. And don't worry about none of that. Because we'll watch it eventually. Just turn on the camera and tell us what you're feeling, why you're feeling it. And turn it off. Tell us what you know. Tell your experience. Share your gift with us. That's what we all need. Still waiting for the mandated butt plug enforcement. Well, Tiana, that might be coming, and I can promise you I will not be engaging in the banana in your tailpipe strategy for if they say that the cuckoo flu is being spread by farts. That's not going to happen. I don't know who made that meme, but I don't know what's wrong with y'all. This is a banana. Bananas go in your mouth. They do not go in your tailpipe. Butt plugs can go in your butt. You're into that kind of thing, and that's fine. But no. Face masks, I guess you got to wear them, you know, if you want to, if you don't want to. If you do, Tony's going to call you an effing idiot. Which is why I'm so glad ain't no pictures of me out at the Home Depot. I wear my mask. I ain't going to lie to y'all. I tell y'all the truth. Wearing masks is stupid. It's dumb. Ignorant. You're hurting grandma. Grandma need to stay at home. We need to pay the money, let grandma stay at home. Federal government, they done showed their card. They done showed you that you actually, grandma can stay home. They know grandma can stay home. They just don't want grandma to stay home because they don't care about grandma and they don't care about you. Hashtag NLM. No lies have ever mattered, especially not grandmas. They won't pay for grandma nor grandpa. His life don't matter neither. Build up your herd immunity. Eat your bananas. Drink the food, the water you're supposed to. Drink fresh, clean water if you can. Get your garden growing. Have a healthy immune system and protect grandma. That's how you protect grandma. And the other thing you do is you don't never listen to big pharmaceutical companies. You don't never listen to big. Not if you love grandma, because who do you think they're making most of their money from? Hmm? Hmm? And pull a Morpheus on you. Do you think that's a pharmaceutical industry that's here to build up your immune system? The immune system that is the exact opposite I'm trying not to laugh of what they need for profit. Because I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, that's what they're there for, right? They're disease management. Like, we broke the medical system, and the people in the medical system, thank goodness I'm alive during a generation where they want to fix it. They want to fix it because they want to help, because it's good people. Unfortunately, that's not how you make the money. Secret societies, right? Rockefellers are behind that pharmaceutical industry, a model of making people sick by turning off their immune system and jacking it up so you can sell more drugs, which is why they haven't cured anything. Do you really think we stupid enough that we can't cure anything? I mean, think of all the nurses and the doctors and the medical professionals. Think about how smart these people are. You think they're so dumb with all the science we have that they can't cure nothing since nothing? I was gonna say polio because I like that joke, but they didn't cure polio. Just people started washing their hands and wiping their butt with toilet paper instead of using their right hand. They didn't cure anything because that's not their job. Their job is disease management. Their job is selling as much of their product as possible in a consumer fashion, which means you can't have an immune system. You have to be sick for them to make profits. Right? If you have a big pharmaceutical industry instead of a little pharmaceutical industry, that's a sign that your government is actually working for a secret society, keeping you sick. They don't care about your sniffles, your boogers, your snot, mucus, fever. They're not there to help you nor grandma. And that's just the reality. Happy birthday, Jonathan Close. Is that what I saw? It's your birthday? Happy birthday to Jonathan. Happy birthday to. That's all I got. That's it. I can't do any more than that, because if I have to sing on everybody's birthday, it's gonna be a big trouble. I'm singing your birthday because you do live streams. You are a live streamer privileged person in my perspective, because now you're doing live streams and I appreciate it. I watch everyone that I can jump in there and watch. A lot of new live streamers that y'all should be watching. A lot of new live streamers. All right. What's that? Yep, King JFK was the last independent king ruling the U.S. corporation. And that's my point, Tony. This is why I watch Tony Smith. Tony Smith knows what the hell he's talking about, right? The last king. You want to know who owns your land, your resources, right? Like, all right, I'll put it another way. I was trying to say this in a post earlier if it actually posted. Like, there are people who are like watching the prime ministers and the presidents. It's not just America. It's just not the whole Trump ignorance thing that's going on right now. Right? Like this idea of I don't want to get into that. What's her name? Ghislaine, something, that the lady who went up there and grabbed them kids. We need to talk about her too, because I don't think y'all understand what a patsy is, but trying to figure out the way to say it. Other than the way we always say it, which is your politicians, people don't have any power. They're given to you for the illusion that you have say and you have control. You don't, nor do they. The most they can do, in every piece of analysis I can do, as long as I've been on this planet, 29 years, the most they can do is start a conversation-ish. That's it. They can slip up on a microphone. I think that's all the power that they got. Right? Like, the people who've actually run things since the real kings were taken out of power were secret societies, right? And JFK told you that. And those people don't go on television. They don't go out there and politic. They're not interested in your vote. They have no interest in your political parties. They actually own lands. They own resources. They own continents. They don't go on TV and engage in idle banter over chicken bones that fall from the trillionaire family's tables, right? They sit in rooms and they chant halls. And they probably do seances and other creepy stuff that I don't know anything about. over continents and resources, nations, what will happen to them. They don't sacrifice chickens any longer. They sacrifice entire populations of people. I have no interest in what the politicians are saying. I'm only interested in what the real power is doing. All right. And this is what Tony Smith knows, is that the real powers are in secret societies. Those people never go on television. They're not interested in things that happen in your world. They own your world. They own your land. They own you and your government and your political parties. And they'll kill all of you anytime they want to. As long as it benefits them, they'll do anything that they want to. And they threw JFK out. Why? JFK got off a message. No other president's been killed since. So go back to the last president and listen to what that president said, and that's how you will know what you should be fighting. Or just turn on TV, look at the commercials. Martin Luther King was another one. You wanna fight for the dream? All you got to do is go back to look at Martin Luther King at the end of his life and look at what he was fighting and pick up where he left off. Then you're probably doing something decent. If you're not doing that, you don't convince me that you're fighting for his dream. If you taking on the dark energy of the NATO allies, it's like the whole NATO alliance thing. It's just like, I got this video earlier today where it was talking about how President Obama was so great and we need to get rid of Trump because he's so stupid and dumb and ignorant and all this stuff. And I guess I watched 2 minutes of it and I can't even watch that stuff anymore. It's useless to me. It's a useless piece of information. Your prime ministers and the presidents don't have any power. But as long as people believe, the illusion will continue. And I don't even want them to know that. I don't want my number to be counted in that. Like, the problem isn't the presidents nor the prime ministers. The problem is us. And we just don't want to say it. Like, it's easier to blame presidents. It's easier to blame prime ministers. It's easier to blame the politicians. They need to pick a P that you like. OPP, blame other people's problems on the... That's not what OPP stands for, but everybody wants to point the finger. But it's us. Collectively, the problem is us. It's because we believe the TV. It is us. It's not the presidents. I have no interest in blaming Donald Trump for nothing I consented to. I have no interest in blaming Obama or the politics. It's useless. It's not going to get you anywhere. Focus on the real power. Focus on the real power. Secret society. What's going on? Popo Giglio. That's a good name. I like that name. 55 and it's raining. 55 and it's raining, Robin McMillan. Where the hell are you at? I need to be there. It ain't rained here in a while. Not a good rain, not a garden rain. It trickles and then it stops. Sacrificial offerings thrown into the proverbial volcano. Just none of us would have to look really directly in the eye. None of us would have to look really reality directly in the eye. Yeah, well, I think people are scared of reality, right, Beaufont? I think people are scared of admitting what we are, admitting what we support, what we consent to. And so, yeah, they don't look reality in the eye. They take TV as real because TV tells them what they want to hear, that they're good people and the people in office are always the bad guys. We got to throw the bad guy out of office, the hero or the villain, when really it's just us. No way I adopted you. Susan, who didn't you adopt? You should adopt everybody. Every child on this planet is the obligation of the adults on the planet. That's why I don't have any struggles in races, which is the topic everybody seems to like today. Everybody's posting on it. But yeah, no interest. Why would you take care of one race when you could take care of all races? Why would you feed one child when you got the food to feed two? Like that. I'm thinking about it that way. Ooh, there you go. So it's dinner time. Plate is set. You've been cooking in the kitchen. You realize you got automation, robots, and all the resources and the food to feed all the children. And all the kids come in. Got black kids, white kids, Asian kids, American kids, Chinese kids, Latin kids, Puerto Rican kids. Got all these kids all around the table. They all hungry. Dinner, 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 dinner. You know you cook. You know the level of technology you have. You know you can feed all of them. But you just decide to feed the black ones. You just decide to feed the white ones. You just decide to feed the American ones. That's why I'm saying, like, think globally. We're in a time where global power is real. And they run everything. And they can take care of everybody, but they don't want to take care of anybody. And we still have people fighting over silly stuff instead of just saying, no, all the kids at the table are hungry. We're going to take care of all of them because we can't take care of all of them. If you only want to take care of some people, to me, that's called revenge. That's called apathy. It's called selectivism. So yeah, I think you got to stop playing their games. Stop playing their games. Young man, sounds like Tony. Let me see. No AC. Citizen Deb, you don't got no AC privilege neither? No, neither do I. I gave up. I gave that. I believe it was destroying the world. I think it was destroying. It was not helping. And a time might come where we might have to get used to not having AC again. It's like, does anybody in what countries are y'all from? Do things seem normal in your country? Do things seem a little off? Like I was having this epiphany yesterday. Just out there, just standing in the yard, listening to the road. There's a lot less cars on the road. There's no airplanes in the sky. Something is off. And yesterday was a business day. The businesses are supposed to be up there working, and people supposed to be running around, scurrying around like little rats that they are in the rat race, and nobody's out. But my state's green. We're open. We're collapsing, people. We're done. We're done. That's just the reality of it. The machine is slowing to some sort of a grinding halt. And what we do next is really up to us. But if you think you got a healthy economy and there ain't no cars on the street, no airplanes in the sky, no helicopters, nothing, all the things that people need to grind to eat and all of that stopped, there's a quiet before the storm. Just think about that. Like I said, people didn't have any food before this started. People were in hard times before all this started. And it's quiet. It's dangerous. We got to go on an AC diet. We do, Robin McMillan. Well, there are a lot of other things you can do, though. Like, people don't know that the ground is 50 degrees. Like, go outside, do some grounding. Like, just take a shovel, dig a hole, put your feet in that hole on a hot day. Tell me how your feet feel. Cool. There's geothermal heating and geothermal cooling. You can actually take a pipe, Robin, tube, run it underground. As long as you run it enough, and then put it like a vane or radiator in front of your fan. And the water, run water through it, and the fan, you actually don't have to run water. All you gotta do is put water in it. The what is that? What is that called? Recirculation, right? The hot water, the water that's hot goes down. It's sucked by the cold water. It pushes down. It cools underground. It goes back up, and it creates this recirculating cycle. And you actually can cool your house down that way. There are a lot of things you can do. But then again, we need earthen houses too, right? We need earth ships. That's what I wanted to build. I didn't want to live in grandmama's house. I came here because it's a little house, and I know I've already run the lights on solar panels that I made on a system I put together. I've already done that. I know I can do that again. Built the wind turbine. I did a what's it called? Vertical access wind turbine. I posted that. You can make those. There's a guy on YouTube shows you how to make them. We made them from a ceiling fan. You can do that. But that's part of why I live here. But I wish that I had a country that was smart enough to have a government to let us live in earthen houses. 80% of the world's population still lives in earthen houses. I'd rather live in a cop house. I'd rather live in an earth ship, not a McMansion, because you will die in a McMansion. In an earth ship in bad times, when you need to go on an AC and power diet, you don't need much electricity. You can keep it cool and you can keep it warm. You don't have to make a big piping fire to try to keep just wait and see what happens. Winter time's right around the corner. The society's grinding to a halt. And if you think that you can afford gas when all the other countries are buying up the gas, all the other countries who did not shut down, the non-NATO allies who didn't play this game with the central banks who did not shut down, you think they're going to say, no, we're not going to buy no gas. Send it to America. Send it to the NATO ally. This is why karma sucks, right? Karma does what it does. We've been denying them people gas for the longest time. Venezuela and Panama and Brazil and all of them that we've been, just pointing at saying, that's why y'all shouldn't be socialist. And now our society grinds to a halt. And winter time is coming, and you live in a McMansion, you gonna live in the basement. It's gonna be too cold for you to live in that house you can't heat. Bad times are coming. Just look at the Great Depression. No, this is not a dark message. There's a difference between being fearful and recognizing real danger. Do I think that that's going to happen? I don't know. I'm on the fence. I have no idea. Do I think that you have children and you need to prepare for bad times? Yeah, I do think you should do that. You know, there's a difference between fear and recognizing real danger, right? All of our ancestors told us to always be prepared. Most of us were Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and Cub Scouts and Brownies, and that was part of that motto, be prepared. It's better to have a match and not need to make a fire than need to make a fire and not have a match. You know, it's always better to be prepared than not, and you are not prepared in no McMansion. You're not prepared. You're going to die. Not only is that a big banner to everybody of who they need to rob when bad times come, because you know there's a direct relationship between employment and crime. It's always been. Always been. And we've already passed the Great Depression's employment percentage, according to the Federal Reserve. And they are conservative. They're a bank. They want to hold things together. They just want to sell themselves to the next people. So you definitely need to be thinking about sustainability. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Make me understand why G lies about his age. Lori G does not lie about his age. And I don't even know who this G dude is. Who is the person out there handing out names? Who is this person, Gerardian and G? Where did all that come from? That's number one question. Two, no, I'm not in the age code. Didn't I explain that? Where you been? You're not, she working, she a nurse. They make her wear that damn mask. She rebreathing that carbon dioxide. And you the one that taught me, Lori, that I shouldn't be wearing that damn thing. I'm gonna make a mask. Somebody needs to make a meme. Y'all should get your mask. No, don't do it. Because, tomorrow we're supposed to burn them. So yeah, you gotta do it today. I want to get my blue mask because it's got brown stains on it. It fell to the bottom of the car. Remember I told you I spilled coffee on it. It's got the stains on it, but it still looks just good enough. I'm gonna get a Sharpie and I'm gonna write "I'm with stupid" and I'm gonna put arrows everywhere pointing to everybody so I wear it in the store. I'm with stupid and let grandma stay home. They print the money. And explains everything right there. Grandma can stay home, she can be safe, but they don't want to say grandma. Yeah, no, I'm 29 because we manifest what we become. This is why we talk about weird stuff. This is why we talk about quantum physics and spirituality. If thou shalt move mountains, there go Brother Tony, he'll tell you about that. Thou shalt move mountains, then thou sayest it be so, and touching the heel of people's garments. That's why we talk about that. That's real. You manifest your reality. We don't understand it, but we know it's true. You create placebo and nocebo. What is age? Age is a nocebo cult. Okay, that's what I said. I'm not in your age code. I'm not in your age code. Who first put me onto that was probably Helena Summer. When she was just like, why you keep saying that you old? I did a live stream with her about a year ago. Stop saying you're old, because y'all remember back, if you go back and watch videos of me, don't watch videos of me going back a year ago. He was so stupid. He didn't know nothing. But then again, I really ain't know much a month ago neither. I'm learning. I used to talk about how old I am. Yeah, I'm just getting old. This is what happens when you get old. When you get old this, when you get old that, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, stop saying you're old. You're going to get old. And I was like, okay, Helena, shut up. Okay, I didn't say shut up. I was like, you know how people tell you stuff. And I started really thinking about it. And I saw a lecture where, I forgot who it was talking about that you're really manifesting the problems that come along with that age, right? Because your subconscious is listening to you at all times. And when you say you're 55, your subconscious is, okay, we're 55, we're 55, we're 55, we're 55. It's just a database, it's processing. We're 55, we're 55. Nocebo's doing what it's doing. We're 55, we're 55, and you hear the doctor in the commercials, when you're over the age of 50, and trust your doctor, when you're over the age of 50, you should have a statin drug, you're over the age of 50, when things start to go wrong, when you're over the age of 50, you start to get the wrinkles, and all your subconscious is doing is just taking in the programming, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like all your subconscious is doing, it's taking in the programming. It's listening to what is being said, and it just processes that. It gets reinforced by your conscious mind. If your conscious mind really believes you're 55 and that actually means anything scientifically, which it doesn't, then it means your body is going to act like what it believes 55 should be. The same way the dude died and the cancer didn't kill him. He literally killed himself of cancer that doctor described to you in that example of the nocebo effect. So that's why I'm 29. That's why I'm 29. I will be 29, and I actually know that I'm 29 now. Oh, it's working. I'm getting my abadabbas back. They were hiding under a juicy jelly coating over the winter, and I'm eating my banana because I'm young again, and I'm getting younger every day. That's what it is. When you actually agree with this psychopathic nocebo age code called age, then you will continue to age as though you think the group is supposed to age, right? You know, this is why, you know, have y'all seen that video when the grandma that the big farmer don't ever want to save, but she defined big farmer? She's like 98 years old and she's a gymnast. Have y'all seen that video? She's flipping around doing this, that, the other, what, at 98? 98! Got a leotard. Would you wear a leotard now? How old are y'all? 55, 50? I hope you say 29. 98. Could you flip on some bars? This woman flipping on bars, she kind of doing this thing and doing this turn thing. Y'all seen the video. She knows that she's not 98, and her body responds like she's not 98. I know people in their 30s that can't do that. All right? That's why I say it and I know it. When I stop getting sick, I'd love to tell you because I stopped eating meat. I'd love to say I stopped eating pus and blood and milk and cheese and my diet. I love to say that it's my gardening. I love to say that it's because I've gotten active. I love to say it's because I drink a lot more water. I love to say all these things that I'm not sure are true. I no longer get sick by accident. By accident. Total accident. I program my subconscious, Lori, on accident. I watched Dr. Greger. I watched Dr. Campbell, Dr. Oz, and all the other naturopathic doctors that everybody's trying to kill. Big Pharma, once again, boy, goodness gracious. Full of good people, but at the top, they're dirty and corrupt. And eventually my subconscious accepted the placebo of you're eating the things you're supposed to eat. We're not supposed to get sick. And it sounds crazy to you until you really look at the science of it. It sounds unscientific until you actually do your homework. And my body says, no, we're not supposed to get sick. We drink a smoothie once and twice a week. Now we're drinking smoothies every day because it's flu season. We're not supposed to get the flu. That's why I'm not worried about going outside. I actually have faith. Oh, goodness gracious. Ain't that going to take us in the scriptures now, isn't it? You will walk into fires and you won't be burned. You'll dance with snakes and you won't die of the poison. You know, but the people with the fake faith, fake faith, you know, they're scared of what they can't see. They're scared of the bad air. But that's how you start to see who has faith and who doesn't have faith. I haven't been on one day of lockdown. I've been outside every damn day. I've been outside every damn day. Like I said, my mama ain't got the ability to make me stay in my house. And if she, and I'm kind of still scared of her. If she ain't got the ability to make me stay in my house, woman, you throw shoes at me. Oh man, she used to call that dragoon, my father, to beat the hell out of me because I needed it. Don't get me started talking about spanking. I needed it. I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you live in a world with lots of young children don't need spanking. I needed every last lashing of that leather belt that I got. If not, I'd be robbing you right now. Okay? Nah, she can't make me stay in my house. I'm not scared of the cuckoo virus. You know, the only time I social distance, I'll be honest with y'all, is because this ignorant government makes grandma leave the house. That's the only reason, that's the only time I social distance, like this morning. That's why I was late this morning. I had to run down to the Home Depot. And as soon as I put I put that little cloth thing on because I will not wear medical equipment. I am not trained. I'm not stupid. I got too many friends in the medical field that the ones will say it online, others will say it quietly. Don't you wear no medical equipment if you're not trained. Don't be stupid. And there's no way that junk is going on my kids. I don't give a damn what government says. No, I duck in and duck out. And the only time I social distance is when I see an elderly person. It's good. I'm hippie. I'm not stippy. I'm not stupid. Grandma could have stayed at home. Grandma shouldn't be working anywhere. What the hell is grandma doing out at the store? We got drones that deliver food. We got drones that deliver bombs. How in the hell do we not have drones delivering food to grandma? Don't hit me with this, oh, we need to save grandma. Shut up. You never liked grandma. You never took care of grandma. You ain't never done a thing for grandma. We live in a country where we let old people die in front of the hospital. Man, come on, stop it. Don't take that bullshit. You can shove it up. Just stop it. They don't give two damns about grandma. If they cared about grandma and grandpa, they stay at home. Those are our elders. Those are our libraries. Those are the people who need to be teaching us. Those are the people who need to be served and waited on by the robots, not going bombing, killing other people, stealing from them because you want their land. No, they don't give two damns about grandma. And so I feel bad. I feel bad. And I don't care if grandma's on the left or right. I don't care if she's white or black or Native American, whatever. When I see old folk, I know me. My immune system works. I step back. I stay away. I was coming out of Home Depot. That's my point this morning. And I seen grandma coming on in. That's my elder. I love her to death. I don't even know Wilhelmina something. I don't even know her. But she could try to get in the store, and I got my mask off. As soon as I get out that, and I go through the garden entrance and go out the garden entrance, and I go in the store as little as possible. Get in, get out. Stay in the outside best that I can. But even when I pass old folk right now, I stay away from them. Right? Like, do I believe in the pandemic? No, I don't. I don't think my government loves me. I don't think they care about me at all. I think they'll set me up any day, time of the day, week, the month, or the year, anytime that they need to. I know they're in bed with big corporations. I know that they just want to be hired. They get that campaign contribution, which means they'll do anything for a corporation if they're paying enough, whether that's manufacturing a mask, making some vaccines, some shots, making flu medicine, or it's just election year. But I don't know what I don't know. All right. So young people need to be in the street. Those are the ones who need to be out there protesting. They need to be protesting to get the world back started again, to get slavery back, because that's what we taught them. Or they need to be out there protesting scarcity, because that's what we put them through. Getting the flus that we're all supposed to get every single year while grandma stays at home with grandpa. But that's the only time I social distance is when I pass one of them, because I really don't know what's out there. Like I told you, if you wanted to attack America, when would you do it? When would you do it? You would do it when you know they're vulnerable, right? It's not just bankers we need to worry about and the currency manipulators that have been manipulating markets and currencies since jump, like George Soros and these Rockefellers and Rothschilds. We do need to worry about the people that hate us. And the best time to attack America, the best time to when do you take down a giant? Right? The stupid people go out there and start hitting his toe. No, that's the stupid ones. The smart ones, they just sit there in the woods and wait. They'll wait till the giant is sick. They'll wait till they see a weakness in the giant. They'll wait till they see the giant limping. When that giant's limping, that's when you run out from behind that bush and kick him right there in that knee. Y'all should watch Turn. That's what I'm watching right now. I'm watching Turn. Turn was good. It was a story of the George Washington and the American Revolution. You should watch that. Right? You want to be a strategist. You want to be smart. Now I'm at the part where they shot Benedict Arnold in his leg again for the third time. You see the weakness, you go for it. It's like martial arts. You see it, you strike it. So anybody who wants to strike America, anyone who wants to topple America, anyone who wants, I don't know, you make bottle caps and you want to be able to outperform the American bottle cap makers. It makes sense to release them for the sake of money. And people say that sounds stupid, but not if you sell bottle caps and you can make $8 billion selling bottle caps if you just turn off the American economy for another 3 months. Yeah, you might release something. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Be careful. I mean, everything is deceptive. And the real play would be to release something that spreads fast that, I don't know, came from Fort Detrick, that was designed to spread fast but not kill anybody. Why? Because you would create two groups. You'd create one group yelling, obviously it's no virus, and the other group yelling, no, we got to stay inside. And then once you got those guys opposing each other and confidence goes up, yeah, I guess it really wasn't as bad as we thought. Then you release something dangerous. That's what a strategist would do. And the people who run this world, they're smart enough to never show themselves in public, and they're smart enough to be that slick. So we you got to proceed with caution. You got to proceed with caution. That's all I'm saying. And yeah, Lori, they effing live. Look at you, potty mouth. Isn't it too early for Lori to be potty mouth Lori? I thought she came out later on Tony Smith's live. Potty mouth Lori. Yeah, that's all they do is lie. That's their job. That's their job. And you know what, Lori? Like, why do people lie? I like the way Ty put it. People lie because there are consequences for the truth. That's why the Democrats lie all damn day. And that's why the Republicans lie all damn day. That's why Trump lies all damn day. And that's why Obama lied all damn day. Because we're gullible enough to believe it. We're gullible enough to believe in power-based systems that's taking the rights from everybody. Nobody owns any land, can't barely pay for the car, and they'll take it all back, eminent domain, anytime they want to. You don't even own it, and they'll take it back. And even the stuff that you think you own that you pay for, they got that NDA. They can take it at any time they want to, anytime they want to. They don't give two damns about you, and they lie all the damn time, and they write laws showing you that. No, I feel stupid to, no, I'm sitting there saying, oh, well, Obama said this. Trump said this. Which leads me to this Ghislaine person. What is her name? The lady who worked for Epstein. Oh, my Lord. No, she was his girlfriend. And so I saw all these posts yesterday, and I missed a comment by someone saying, yeah, this is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Thump, 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 get out of it. And I'm just like, you know, there's always more than one witch, right? You know, there's always more than one witch. I'm not excited that they arrest her. His girlfriend is like, yeah, things are happening. No, actually, they're not. You know, do you think that there's only one Epstein in the world? No. Okay. You think there's one Epstein Island in a world full of billionaires and trillionaire families? You think Epstein could feed all the psychopaths that come from inbreeding for like 2,000 years? No, of course not. This is the one that they served up. And he supposedly died in prison and came out of prison with a different nose than when he went in. Okay? And so in my mind, how the world works, as long as I've been here for 29 years, you don't serve the most powerful people in a community and get taken out by the most powerful people in the community, especially if you got things, videotapes of them doing things that they ain't supposed to be doing. No, you get protected. You don't get taken out. So no, I don't actually think Epstein is dead. I think they put him where they put Bin Laden and all the other friends. They retire him. And so the idea that they got Ghislaine is like, okay, but have they changed their model of abuse? Right? And once again, you go to the principles of it, right? So what is pedophilia? It's child abuse, right? So yeah, we're fighting child abuse. We're stopping them. Okay, so it's abuse that you're fighting. What are the two biggest industries in America? Are they based in abuse? I throw that out. What are the top dozen industries in your country? Well, you don't have to be America. You can be Britain, anywhere. You know your government is actually against the thing if they fight it at the principal level. Are we fighting abuse in any way, shape, or form, fashion, or anything? No, thank you. Every industry is based in abuse. All of them. We're not fighting abuse in any way. You know, the biggest child trafficking ring in the world isn't some secret society in Epstein Island. It's actually the mass prison industrial complex. I mean, just based on the numbers alone, what, hundreds of thousands of people in there? We have more children in prison than what any nation has ever had, ever since the human. So you're trying to tell me that taking young people and throwing them in prison to be raped like they're on Epstein Island and to be fought like gladiators by COs isn't abuse? No, nobody's fighting abuse in the government. The model is based in abuse. And don't get Beaufort started, because they'll start telling you what a actual government is, okay? It is an abuse model. It is a model of master and slave. And this is why they pushed me down that anarchist route. Why you shouldn't watch my videos from a year ago unless it's for research. That's the only reason. Because that guy back then was stupid. He wasn't fighting things at a principal level. But this is why this is an evolving conversation. And you're seeing me grow the hell up year after year after year as my family and I have these discussions and talk about things from a, you're not fighting darkness unless you're fighting it on a principal level. You're not fighting evil, if that's what you want to call it, if you're not fighting at the principal level. Right? You want to feed, you believe in feeding children, then you believe in feeding all children. You don't look at them and say, no, we need to feed the black children first. All right, that's not called fighting anything. That's called taking on the darkness. You know, it's like the NATO nations, right? The NATO nations just became what they fought. They became the darkness. When you fight darkness on darkness's tools and darkness's model and darkness's ways, you become the darkness. There's no reason to fight. There's no reason to fight it. They've already won. Darkness already won. And that's what the NATO allies can't get. They're all focused on prime ministers and presidents and politics and politicians, and they're not the problem. The problem is you become what you fight. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. You use the sword, you become the sword. It's all abuse. All abuse. Ooh, good. We got, I like discussions, not debates. Funny he's saying this about abuse, but yet he found nothing wrong with the video of women right, hitting their man in the face and the head with a purse. Yeah, it kind of sounds like a double standard I was addressing. Oh, good. I'm glad you said that, Amanda. Because you know what? I did some soul searching the other day and I uncovered something. I do soul searching every damn day because ain't nobody causing any problems in the world but me. I did me some soul searching. And you know what I uncovered after we had our discussion the other day? Outside of the fact that I think that was all staged anyway, I actually find it funny when women hit men. I don't know why. And there's something wrong. Maybe one of my people could so psychoanalyze. I find it actually pretty funny when women hit men and are not being serious. And I know that the man didn't get hurt. Now, there's a difference between that TV show Bent when women are killing men. But I also find it funny when animals hurt humans too. There's something in there. Maybe I got a little psycho in the past. Maybe it's a little something in there. Maybe that warrior gene flipped. And like when people who've like creatures live with abuse and they've lived with abuse for a very long time and they strike back, to me, it kind of feels like karma or something. It's kind of funny to me. I'm sorry, it is. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I was raised a boy, and the funniest thing to me I can think about when I was a kid that time, Janet beat me up. I don't know why it's funny. And she was playing and not playing. It was both of them. It was both of them. I'll admit that. I have no problem. I give that woman all her props. She grown as hell now. I think she might be even on my profile. No, we got together and he's like, yeah, well, I can shadow by you. You can shadow by, I can shadow by you. You can shadow by. She's a little bigger than I because women, girls grow faster than boys. And I think I was 13, something like that, 14. Oh man, and my best friend trained her. He was boxing by that age. His cousin had him boxing. He done gave her a few strategies. I didn't have them strategies just yet. I was more of a wrestler. So this wasn't a wrestling match. It was just a boxing match. Yeah, she beat the hell out of me. It was slap boxing. Did y'all slap box? But this is what I'm saying, that Amanda, like I grew up different from other people. To me, we used to fight every day. Like that was a standard thing. You got to the bus stop and if your book bag did not have a bunch of grass on it because you were rolling and tumbling and fighting, had all kind of grass in your afro, then you don't have no friends. That's how we treat each other. It wasn't like, so to me, when I saw that, I didn't see violence, but I also enjoy watching grizzly bears chasing human beings. I do. I find it funny when geese chase people. When I used to go into work, when I used to go into slavery in corporate America, there were some geese that had eggs right outside the corporate door. You know, the geese that make that green poop that just fill up the yard, get all on the shoes and stuff on the carpet. The geese, they invade here. In my state, it's actually criminal if you hit the goose. You hit the goose, you got to stop, pull over, call the police, and wait because you were naughty. You hit a goose. You can't drive. It's the geese, right? Am I saying it right? It's the geese? What kind of geese is it? You have to stop in this state. I didn't grow up in this state. I grew up in Maryland, but I moved here. And if you hit a goose, you got to stop because you was being a bad human. And you got to call the police, and you can't leave till the police get there and they smack you on your hand for hitting a goose because they're endangered or something like that. I don't know. And I kind of think it's funny when people on the side of the road, they're trying to go to slavery and go to work, but they hit a goose. And we've been eating and killing gooses and birds and dodo birds since the beginning, made them extinct. And now you hit one, you got to stop. I don't know. It's funny to me. It's payback. The big payback. So no, but as a model, I'm against abuse. I'm against all forms of abuse. If it's real abuse, right? If it's karma, I'm kind of like, yeah, that was supposed to happen. It's like, so when I see women, they got a little aggression, they get, as long as this is just like, it ain't no bricks in the pocketbook and you hit the guy. I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to get that, right? It's like when I was being bad as a kid and I'm running around, grandma said, don't run in them rose bushes, and I'm in the rose bushes. You about to get what you about to get. And I think it's funny. Grandmama said, go on out there, get me a switch. Don't go get me the old wood, get me the new wood. I don't want wood, I want something whippy to just saga. And I deserved it. I was told what to do and I didn't know why. I didn't listen. I got my spanking. That's what's kind of. So there's karma and there's abuse, but as a model, no, I don't like violence. Like if I know that you're trying to hurt someone, then it's not funny, right? Grizzly bears, they're not really trying to hurt you for the most part. Grizzly bears just want the berries. They don't want you. You stink. You don't taste good. you eat Twinkies and pesticides. The bear doesn't want to eat you. The bear ain't got nothing better to eat. So he sees this dummy walking in the woods like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and chew on you for a little bit. I wish I had me a berry bush. That's what my hunter friend says. If you find a bear that's got a good berry bush or they got some salmon or something, you can walk right past them. They don't give two damns about you. You know, so no, the bear just wants you to get away. The bear just wants you to get away from the baby. So to me, there's a difference between, yeah, I'm trying to be violent, I'm trying to hurt you, and it's like a dog. When a dog bites a human, does a dog want to eat the human as a wolf? No, the dog just to say, hey, look, you doing something that I don't want you to do, please back away. And they only got a mouth. They don't have hands. They can't smack you. They got to bite you. Right? As a kid, the wolves used to run free in my neighborhood. We all knew how to run and jump on cars and climb trees. That's why very few of us were chubby. I started going down the chubby route and I got pulled back. Oh my goodness. I had something that jumped out of my nose. What the hell was that? That's why people watch live streams. That's why they do it. And I know somebody go back and take a screenshot. That was a piece of a banana. As a model, I'm against abuse. Like, to me, it's always about intent. It's always about intent. That's what I'm saying. All right. We the lab rats and procurers of the same. We are mystery. We believe in abuse. We abuse. We got American privilege. We complain about other people's privilege, and we are what we oppose. We're all hypocrites, and that's the crazy thing to me. And that's why I'm more shut your mouth to myself, Miss Tree, than anything else. We're all hypocrites. We're all hypocrites. We can walk away from the problems, or we can keep blaming other people for the problems. And I think that I was raised and trained by this society to blame other people for my problems. I was trained to be a victim, and I'm not interested in being a victim anymore. Geese are very aggressive. I walk 4 miles around them. Yeah, they are, Christine, and I think they're funny. I think they're funny. Because I ran in the office one day. One almost got me in the geese. See, the problem with geese is their head is at the right height to do real damage to some of us. And I was going in the office, and I didn't think the geese was going to chase me that far. I was like, come on, please. I'm 6 foot tall, bald-headed man. I got a few muscles. That goose is scared of me. Goose ain't get too damn. That goose was not know. That goose knew right where to come, and it looked like he was firing at the right spot. No, I ran in the office. I didn't drop my laptop. That goose chased me right in the office, and I heard like all this noise behind the window, and the people were in the office building. They were all in there laughing. So what did I do? After the goose walked away, I ran back there, grabbed my laptop bag, and I ran back in the office, and I went to the window where everybody else is watching the goose, because the goose was chasing everybody. The goose was chasing everybody. You know, and it's karma. We put a business park where the goose needs to put his nest. So it was karma that it would chase everybody in the office. And so we sat right in there in the window watching everybody get chased in the office by the damn goose. Good thing we didn't have the phones with the video back then. We had, I think they were like the flip phones and the BlackBerry, so you couldn't like do a lot of filming. Oh, we was everybody walking. Nobody called nobody. Nobody was in there texting anybody. Hey, Tom, be careful coming in. There's a goose that's gonna bite you on the way in. No, we were all naturalists. We were all environmentalists. We understood that the goose is just saying, hey, listen, dummy, I didn't tell you to build a business park here, and I've been doing this for damn near 200 million years. Y'all need to stay away from my nest. And so we just sat there and laughed at it. It was just karma. So anyway, that was a long explanation. So no, I'm against real abuse. I'm against real violence. The goose wasn't trying to eat me. He was trying to get me in the gonads. That's all. The goose knew exactly where to do some damage. And thank God he missed. I may not be here right now. I might be in an insane asylum. Because that's what the women are taught early on. They know where to get you. They know where to get you. They change your life. They get you good enough. And that was funny too, as kids too. But you know what, Amanda, you right on this one. No, let me go back. I disagree on what we just said, but you right on the other one. When we would watch our little friends get kicked in the nutticles, it was funny. We used to laugh because society taught us to laugh, and you're right about it, because that hurt. That hurt. Just go right to your stomach, and that's why girls did it. To listen, we've been oppressed for a long time. I got pigtails and I'm 10. But I know how to get you to stay the hell away from me. We grow faster than y'all. We bigger than y'all. It's something we evolved to do, because when we get older, y'all just oppress us with your patriarchal society. So I'm gonna try to teach you early on. Apparently your mama ain't taught you how to treat us. So even at the age of 11, you mess with me, you pull my pigtails, I'm gonna nail you in the nutticles. So we learned respect. We learned respect. We had a little girl. We had a school district back then that would be a little slow to respond if a girl was beating you up, because that's just because they knew the boys would get bigger later. But it was good. I think all things kind of work out the way they're supposed to. But it is sick, and Amanda is right that this society does praise violence, and it teaches violence, and that is something that we gotta whittle out. We gotta whittle it out. I don't know how to do that. No, we do know how to do that. Jacques Fresco taught us how to do that, right? Jacques Fresco taught us how to do that. Jacques Fresco taught us in neuroscience and behavioral science that when people are raised in love and peace and given the things they need and not a government but free and sovereigns, they become beautiful creatures, and there's no reason for violence. Violence is certainly something that came from evolution. And the governments, politicians, if y'all are still playing that game, the only way that they stay in power is they keep tweaking your evolutionary fear and warrior genes, handed down memory of scarcity and fear, and they convince you that the other people are after you. While what they work for the people who claim they own you. One love, tight. Y'all arguing again? If you're not willing to defend against the sword, it will strike you down. Now, this is very true. John shows telling the truth. Now, I'm not denying that. Brother John is right. If you're not willing to defend yourself against the sword will strike you. That's a guarantee. And so everybody's got to pick and choose, John. I'm a person where I am in my current state of evolution. I don't believe in violence. I believe in defense. Real defense, not a Department of Defense. That's fake. I believe in real defense. If someone brings violence to my house, they will be met with force. They will be met with the most violent force I can muster. But not violence, wrong word. The most defensive force I can muster. Because that's where I am. You know, I think that Martin Luther King was probably more evolved. I know he was more evolved than what I am. Gandhi, if that story of the kids in the bed or something ain't true, he was more evolved than what I am. Well, certainly from a nonviolent perspective, John. John, I don't have that function yet. I wish I did have a function where I could just sit there, where I know someone is coming to my house to bring me harm, and just ascend and be a powerful being, like I see a lot of the goddesses here say. You know, they're nonviolent people, and they will go peacefully into that good night. Not me. Not me. So I believe in self-defense. Absolutely. You still eating your banana G? Yeah, that's a good point, Norma. It's flu season. I got to get my immune system going. Let me create an enemy so you will come to me to protect you from that enemy. Population control 101. Well, that's what they do, right? John hitting it again, and it's very true. They created the enemy, they took your weapons, and they want you to go to them to help you be defended from what they created. John is right about that. What is that called? Problem, reaction, solution. Create the problem, don't solve it. Same with the pharmaceutical industry, the military industrial complex. Eisenhower told you about that. It's a complex, people. A complex. Brother John knows what he's talking about. They created the problem, they created all your enemies. And you know, the only thing though, John, that people who understand that lose it is when they start talking about terrorism. Well, we need a strong national defense to defend us from terrorism. And I'm like, no, right, that's right, that's wrong. It's like, brothers, I love y'all, and yes, I believe in the Second Amendment, but no, y'all right, you're wrong about that. The Department of Defense is not there to defend you. They're there to go create terrorism for you. They're there to go and terrorize people by stealing their minerals, their resources, they're taking their land the same way they did the Americans to create enemies out of farmers. Right? And then they went, we need more weapons and guns and bombs, and we need $33 million for every F-37 Raptor to go and defend us from the evil people. It's like, no, they're not evil people. They're just farmers who don't want you to be on their land. You know, and so that's where I disagree with the right on that. The right is right about the defense, but the defense is not really the defense that they think it is, right? So, absolutely. But Brother John, I see contradiction everywhere. I think we're all trying to figure it out. Well, no, we're not. No, that's a lie. Some of us don't want to figure it out. I want to figure it out, and I think a lot of people we want to support the Matrix less because we want to get the hell out the Matrix. We ready to go down that little nasty tube, down through that goo where people decay and everybody's pooping and peeing in their pods and end up in that juice that Morpheus is supposed to come save you from. I'm ready to go down that tube. I mean, the only way we figure that out, I think, is through principles. But this is where principles trip everybody up. That's why I like principles, because it trips me up all the time. Trips me up all the time. And that's how you learn. You gotta look at your own flaws. I was 4 when I was, I was 4 when something, who's it? Rebecca, when she was 4, I didn't finish it. What was you, chasing alligators, swimming with sharks? What were you doing? When I was 4, because Rebecca tough. When I was 4, I was a very large goose did something to her, and the comment just went up. I'm sorry, Rebecca, I didn't read the whole thing, but knowing from your pictures and how you live and you ain't got no fear, nothing. I would say that a big goose probably chased Rebecca, and she probably took off her Sabo shoe and smacked it in the head and made lunch. That's probably what had happened. Okay, it's geese. The geese are very aggressive. I walk 4 miles around them, and they should be, Christine. There's a reason why the geese are still here and the dodo bird is gone, because the dodo bird was a bit of a dodo. The sailors came up to the coast and they ran up there and said, we got to eat lunch, and the dodo was just doing what Americans do. Just, not for, oh, good, I'm glad I know what that is. Ooh, that wasn't a booger, thank goodness. For future reference, so between Norma and Beaufont, I got saw it. That was not a booger that y'all saw earlier. So in case you see a meme floating around with me that's got a booger that's on the tip, I thought it was a boogie because I feeling itchy, the pollen, and I wiped it. I don't know if y'all saw that. It was like a little booger. It's like, ah! He was just swinging, doing his thing. I thought it was a boogie. And I knew Beaufont, Beaufont. So if you ain't, he ain't commented, because I know where you at right now. I know where you at. You're making that meme. I've already proven it's banana peel. That's why it's banana peel. I went like this because I'm eating the banana. It left a little piece and I couldn't see if it was green or white because this is the way the screen is. And that was banana. That's all. That was potassium. So you make a meme, it's not gonna be funny because it's not a booger. It's potassium. My nose skin was taking in the nutrients. I got no privilege right now. Jackie said, Jackie, you do. Everybody has privilege, Jackie. Jackie, everybody has privilege. The abuser is the one that tells you what your privilege is. The ignorant one is the one that doesn't know nothing about Jackie, that's telling Jackie what her privilege is. So I'm not even sure what that conversation is. But that really for me is like, I don't like ignorance. I don't like ignorance. I don't like to call. No, wait a minute, dang it, Lori, you messed me up. Lori sent me an inbox and it just messed me up. She said she won't call me G. Lori, you can call me anything you want, darling. I'm sorry. No, I'm not being serious. Y'all, I'm not being serious. 98% of the time, these are just jokes. All right, these are just jokes. When I talk about the future, what we need to do, that's what we need to do. No, you can call me anything you want. I don't care. I done had wives and girlfriends that call me every damn thing. So I don't really care. And they should, because we've been oppressing women for the longest time. But that's karma once again. I forgot what we was talking about. What were we talking about? See, now she sent me, Lori, you messing me up. We was talking about the banana booger, force and violence, secret societies. You messed me up. Y'all. All right, now I'm just gonna read comments. I forgot what I was even saying. Save your banana peels on the side. Wait a minute. Oh, to dress your tomato plants, by the way. Good. Oh, save your banana peels to side dress your potato plants, by the way. Oh, why, Patty? Tell me. What I do is I put mine in compost and I make compost tea with them, with the compost. But tell me why. Is the potassium, what is it, to chase slugs away? What's wrong with that? That was some rock cocaine. Yeah. Wahaha. Yeah. See, I know. See how funny everybody sees what they want to see? Isn't that funny about how reality, Enoch Kubenesis, because that's not his name, and now I know who that is. He saw drugs because he expresses himself in certain ways, and he eats mushrooms and stuff. And Beaufont saw a joke, probably saw a boogie, and anyway, that's just what the human brain does. The human brain is fascinating. Me had boogers hanging on my live stream, ran out of toilet paper. Oh, you did? Well, that's okay. Nothing wrong. Boogers are organic and natural. We need to grow up. We need to grow. It's not people say, you talking about boogers. That's immature. No, it's not. Boogers are natural. The normal. Boogies teach you that you're not ready for flu season. Like let's break down the boogers. We're gonna break down the science of what a booger is, because we need to be adults and we need to be able to talk about this. Dr. Sebi told you what boogers are. All right. Dr. Sebi taught you, and the medical industry taught you as well. What are boogers? It's just mucus. And what is that a sign of? It's your body telling you you're not ready for flu season, right? You got some other particles, your body's making an inflammatory response, it's making mucus, and it dries up in your nose, it's boogies. That's what it is. Your body's literally telling you by that thing that's swinging right there. I tell you that time I was on a date and I had a boogie. I was on a date and the boogie was hanging right here, and every time I breathed, it would swing out and swing back in. Well, that was a sign, and that woman should have realized. This is a long time ago. She should have realized that, you know what, you don't eat healthy, do you? That's what she should have said right across the table. Like, you know, your body is telling me right now that you don't eat smoothies, do you? You don't drink smoothies. You don't eat organic food. You're not ready for flu season because you got mucus. You got some issues and challenges. You're going to have to wear a mask in flu season and be scared of the pandemic because you're not eating healthy. I'm not sure I want to be with you in the apocalypse. Did y'all see that meme? I got to show you this meme real quick. You're not a good one to be within the apocalypse because you're not healthy. I think I made it my timeline thing, didn't I? Yeah, here go right here. You know, on the first date, somebody got mucus and boogies. That's all it is. It's just telling you that you're not healthy. Your body's fighting something. You ate something you weren't supposed to. You're not eating organic food. You're not ready. That's all it is. That's all it is. We turn into funny things. No, you're not supposed to re-eat them, though. That's the problem with kids. That's what children do. Grown-ups talk about boogies. That's what Dr. Sebi is, a grown-up. You know, anybody out there got tissue in their car? This is a good for you daters right there. Y'all out there doing that dating stuff. This is what you need to do. Pick your person for the apocalypse, because we coming into it. Okay? If the man or woman got tissue in their car, yeah, that's somebody that's not going to fare well in the apocalypse. If the Russians, the Chinese, or any enemies that the United States government and British government gave all their bioweapons to, all the enemies that they gave our bioweapons to, that your tax dollars pay for, when they come back and hurt you because they like to create your own enemies so they can come defend you, like Brother John was telling you. And you got boogies now from just breathing in pollen and just regular normal organic things, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. You're going to need a woman with a strong back. Now's the time for women with mustaches and leg hair and all that pretty stuff. No, you want nobody pretty in the apocalypse. It's coming now. You need a woman who know how to handle a beef cow. You need a woman who can carry some rocks. Women not scared to get dirty. You don't want, they got Perel in their car. No, go the other way. They know they're not going to make it. If they need Perel to be healthy, no, that person, now's the time you need somebody to help you survive. We can go back to that pretty stuff later. Y'all looking for them pretty men with them fake muscles going to the fake gym to create fake isotropic, something muscles? No, you don't want that. You need a man that can defend you and your children. You need a man that's strong down on the farm. You can't tell how strong they are because they're not going to show you. They keep that strength to themselves. They got strong back muscles. They got that farm strength, not that fake gym strength, not that pretty stuff. No, they're not the biceps, but I mean, they got the real strength to just fight off some attackers coming to take your food. My sister locked me outside. Why did sister lock you outside, Riley Rich? Riley Rich, do I know you? You the other Riley with a new profile. I gave him some tea. He'll be all right. Who'd you give some tea to, Enoch, and who's gonna be all right? Y'all are still having that discussion from yesterday. Hopefully y'all are getting along. Y'all better. The boom, what is that? The boogeyman. Yeah, well, ooh, Mark Kachuk. Are you trying to say something there? The boogeyman. Yeah, you don't want to be with the boogeyman in the apocalypse, right? So we're still on that topic. Yeah, there are characteristics of people that you want to be with in good times and characteristics of people who will help you survive in bad times. You want capable people, capable. And I'm sorry, but wearing makeup and knowing how to walk in pumps and knowing how to get inside some tight jeans and a dress, using baby powder and slip inside of it. Those aren't skills you want. Nah, man, look good in the suit. They say, oh, you look like he was poured in that suit. You don't want a man who knows how to wear a tailor-made suit. You want a man that wears some suspenders. You want a man that's not worried about being out in public and how they look. You need a man to get down in some dirt, grow you some food. Man, know how to make some medicine. That's what you need right now. All that pretty stuff need to go away. You're gonna die and your kids gonna die too. If you're not with somebody who's smart, somebody who is street smart, somebody who is a survivalist, real strength, intelligence. You know, and you can go back to the pretty stuff later. Don't get me wrong though. I'm a man. I'll shoot. I love me some tight jeans. Oh my goodness. Them women they pour them that, oh goodness gracious, they pour that behind in them tight jeans. Get the clickety clocking with them heels. Ooh, ha. Not right now. No, that's the time and place for that. That's when we're crony billionaires run our country. We're stable and happy, living on our privilege of blowing up other nations. Right now, you need somebody down on the farm. You need a woman who can handle some cattle. All right. A woman who knows how to take care of you when you got a cut. She know what to go pick and what mushrooms to eat and what mushrooms not to eat. Right now is the time. And if you already settled down, you're already in the marriage, you already got you one, now's the time to start buying them some books and teaching them how to make it through tough times. You need a companion. Right now, it's not a companion for Instagram. It's not a companion to show all the countries you can go to. Do you see airplanes in your sky? All right, you ain't going to no other countries. Okay? Ain't no airplanes up there. That big, yeah, because I watch your Facebook pages and I watch your Instagrams and I see all y'all, oh, just beautiful. Y'all go to Dubai and you go take pictures and you go to the beaches and you go travel these places and you get all kind of likes and subscriptions and everything from all the places that you're traveling. That day has come to an end. Hopefully they taught you something in those countries and how to survive in tough times. You're still a parent, you got kids, you need to know how to take care of them. Me want a hug. Everybody wants a hug, Brother Will. And that's why your name is Love Earth. Gotta love Earth and gotta love everybody else, give everybody your hugs. I was locked out the house and I had to survive. Oh, did you, Riley? I wasn't locked out my house. I have locked out the house privilege. My father didn't lock me out the house, Riley. He let me run away. I have runaway privilege. I had a father that when I was finally snot-nosed and thought I was big enough to run away, he was like, bye. It's like, I done made a nice house for you. We got house privilege. I got Pentagon privilege. I work at the Pentagon. I got a job. I raised you. I put you in the church. I showed you love. I kept all the aggressors away from you. I stayed married to your mama. We raised you safe. You got all this privilege and you want to run away? Yeah, you want to run away. You got American privilege. We blowing up other nations. You want to run away? Bye. I ran right out that house too, Riley. I was gone. I knew it. I forgot how old I was, 14 or something. I was getting the hell out of there. I ran away. You oppressor! He needed me to see what the real world was like. I lasted, damn it, how long did I last? Somebody said, because I told this story before. I almost made it about 5 hours. In the real world, I almost made it about 5 hours. I didn't know I was so privileged, I didn't know you couldn't run away in winter. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand, it's like winter, like you just go place in heat, it just worked. This food just come out the sky. Oh, I tasted the real world, what it was like to be some of my poor white friends. Oh, yeah, we got to go there again. Yeah, we do. I felt it for a minute because I wasn't too far from when my poor white friends grew up. He had no damn shoes or nothing. I was staying in the bush. He was outside all the time because I think his father, while he lived there, was abusing his mom, and they were yelling and screaming. And when he finally left, he ain't never want to be home because the father drove her crazy and she was nuts, and so he ain't never want. So he lived outside all the damn time. So I felt what it was like to be like him for a little bit, and I was like, no, I won't be no poor white. Hell no. Hell no. Yeah, I see why they call them, I see why they don't like the rich black people don't like poor black people, and the rich elite white folk do not like poor white trash. I didn't tasted that. I tasted y'all. I know. That's why y'all think I'm playing. Y'all think I'm playing after I told you I didn't have my white privilege. I had it. My father gave me all that. What do y'all call it? White privilege. I call it white privilege because I think when you use certain terms, they give them to you to piss people off. That's why they give you those terms. I say WHOT privilege, white privilege. That's why I like to say it. I had that and I didn't like it. Nope. Friend sent me a message the other day. I'll tell another story. Friend sent me, I had non-white privilege being a brown person, born as a regular white person, living outside in an abusive family, whatever. No, I didn't. I know. I made about 5 hours. They ain't never gonna do that again. Ever in my nope, never gonna nope. Y'all done got it too rough. Y'all done got it too rough. That includes black people. It includes Hispanic people. It includes Asian people. I'm on all the people side. I am not for you privileged people with using y'all privilege to abuse other people. You ain't never lived rough like them. Part of the reason why I say things that piss people off about this whole supremacy, guilt, fragility, outside of the fact that I know who gave you those terms, that were the people in league with those who got brown skin, who actually killed Martin Luther King, who are fighting the dream. They're trying to stir up trouble. They're not trying to get rid of racism. They're trying to create more of it because that's how they make money, off of brown bodies dropping, by pissing off other people, scaring them into teams and sides that they don't want to be in. They ain't got, most white folk ain't got no problem with you, all right? Until you get together in the streets and you got a problem with them, and then what they gonna do? They ain't got too many other places to go. They can call them skinheads. All right, that's what I would do. And that's what you would do too. You need to fight on principles, powers, and principalities, something like that. My brain's going in 2 different directions right now, so I can't even think about what that means. The reason I have to stand up for all poor people, which includes poor white people that you're not standing up for, because what they went through is real. And what a friend of mine texted me the other day. I won't tell you nothing. Hopefully I'm okay to just mention this. I'm not saying no names or nothing. A lot of people been to prison you would never think been to prison. A lot of people been through abuse you never think go through abuse. A lot of people right here on this thread right here been through abuse, and you know they've been through abuse, and you know that you need to give them a little space. But I'm gonna leave that where that is. A friend that I just never would have figured ever went to prison. I've never been to prison. I never been arrested. I had gun pulled on me, side of the road, handcuffed, all that stuff. Never arrested. I have too many white friends that have been to prison that I didn't even know about. I have too many white friends that jumped into drugs because they lived such horrible lives growing up. I never had to. If I joined with you in the unscientific argument, fighting white privilege, which does not exist, I would wrong everybody I grew up with who didn't have those things, who didn't have black skin. And I ain't gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. You will never get me to sell people out. The biggest problem with me is I don't have any fear. That's the biggest problem with me. That's not true. I do have fear. But it's not of what you would think it is. I don't really care. I stand by myself all damn day, but I will never sell out people who've been through real problems. And there's a whole lot of white folk out there who dealt with a lot worse than what you have or what you have. And won't nothing push them to the Ku Klux Klan, the skinheads, the white nationalists, or any other gangs or groups, or start locking and loading than you in the street fighting with them, and they have never done nothing to you. You'll never get me to sell out that way. It's just never going to happen. I've never been to prison, and I would be so wrong. Turn on people who ain't never done nothing to me. That's all I'm going to ask you. I'm just going to ask you, like, where did that get popular? The first time I heard white supremacy, it came out of Obama's mouth. You're not going to like it, but I'm going to tell you how I see it. I ain't on nobody's side in none of this. But why would an American president say something like that? We know that's unscientific. Races don't even exist, right? They came over to us from England because England knew if it created races, it could divide people up to make sure it took everybody's power. Why would a sitting president say that about a large portion of this population that grew up poor and white? Well, tribalism, right? I see there's a whole narrative of bringing racial tension back to this country, and it was gone for a while. It existed in pockets, but for the most part, it was gone. The only way to get people to believe a lie and engage in political fantasies that politicians have power is you got to keep them emotional. You got to give that. The only way to bring out their apathy is you got to trigger something in them that really makes them angry. And I can't imagine anything would make black folk angrier, pro-black folk, than think that there's a systemic system that looks at white people and says, "Hi, welcome, little white child. Here is your gold and your silver. Here is a house and a car. We're going to take care of you." You know? And I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. It just don't happen to everybody. And so it's unscientific to say that everybody got this thing that does not exist. But when I saw that, it became obvious to me that they were doing some race baiting. And it ain't nothing gonna piss off white folk more than somebody who grew up and ain't had a pot to piss in or window to throw it out. They grew up as bad and filthy and foul and struggling as anybody in any ghetto, telling them that, oh, they got a one up. That's why they got it. And they built themselves up from dirt, and now they got a McMansion like you. All right. I can't ever turn my back on anybody. That would just be wrong. That would just be wrong. And if somebody said, if being wrong is good, then I don't want to be right. So if being wrong to you is good, I said that the right way, I don't want to be right. I'd rather be correct. I'd rather be correct. All right. Project Bigfoot. Wait, whoa. Bigfooted brother. They see you, but you aren't supposed to know that. Is that Bigfoot, Patty? Are you talking about Bigfoot? Gigantopithecus? I think Bigfoot is real. I think Bigfoot is real. We live in a country where people still believe in the government, so why can't I believe in Bigfoot? We are a country that believes the right is fighting the left and the left is fighting the right. Why can't I believe in mermaids? Literally. A place and time where it's empirically provable that nobody's life matters. If y'all believe that, yeah, I can believe alien. I can believe anything I want to believe. I'm gonna have to get out of here. I was gonna read. It's getting hot. I gotta go. I do not have air conditioning privilege. I agree. I want nothing but peace, love, and happiness for you and everybody else. Oh, that's Christ talking to, oh man, oh good. I'm glad, oh, y'all are healing now. Oh, y'all doing the hug love thing. That's good. It's good to disagree with people. It's good to disagree with people and then just tell them that you love them. Like, hey, I disagree with you. Like, to me, I appreciate people who disagree with me. With evidence, with history, with principles, with anything that's wise, right? I appreciate that. I don't appreciate people who always agree. People who always agree with me, they hate me, and I don't like hate. You know, they hate me enough that they don't want to help me become a better person. People who hate you, they let you believe a lie. People who hate you, they let you believe in politics. People who hate you, they let you believe all the things that might get you killed later. All the things that make you look stupid in public. I appreciate most of my friends here, who none of them I agree with all the time, because they're honest. And they say exactly what they mean, exactly how they feel. And then when we have a disagreement, emotions kick in, supposed to. We've all, carried our own cross, right? We all got our own burdens to bear. Yes, I had a very privileged upbringing, and then I decided I wanted to bear some burdens, and hell yeah, did I bear them. Like, don't get it twisted. I done been through some stuff. I told y'all that. I know how to buy pancakes and fill my belly up because I don't have anything in a bank account that can do anything else. I did that too. But anyway, so we all get triggered, right? We all got these things that come up in us, and we just got to learn how to love each other, let people get triggered. Go and get triggered. I love you. I disagree with you, but I love you. And the fact that we disagree is a sign that we do care about each other, because we won't continue to let each other believe a lie. Honesty is king. Yes, it is, Tracy. Honesty is king, and honesty is love. That's how you know you love somebody. You'll be honest with them. Like, you're getting played. You're getting played by a global elite that hates you, and they want to enslave your children. Actually, I take that back. They don't hate you. You just don't exist to them. You're not a thing. You're not an entity. You're not a slave. Slaves, you have universal health care and land and shacks to live in so they can work the next day. Slaves are given hope so they can get up the next day and go out and pick some more cotton or rubber or whatever they need to. Commodities are just used and abused. They're just thrown around. Ooh, who was that? It was a good quote. Brett Weinstein. I mentioned it yesterday. So deep. I probably said it like 10 times yesterday. He said the two political parties are so corrupted that they're not even interested in doing what the people need. Not even interested. Not even interested. And that they do just enough to keep everybody from revolting. That's all. They do just enough to keep you from throwing your Sabo into the machine. They do just enough to keep you from listening to JFK, the last fallen king that told you what was wrong with your world. They do just enough to keep you from listening to the last words of Martin Luther King, working together with poor whites instead of fighting poor whites, throwing your Sabo at the machine the same way he did, fighting for Vietnamese children and poor white kids the way you won't. That's why Obama said white privilege, white supremacy in his speech. Because they needed to drum up more racial conflict to keep everybody in a forced labor camp that's a tax plantation, enslaved by secret societies who actually bought your government, probably before the Act of 1871. I'm way up ahead in comments. So yeah, no, I don't. That's why I don't jump in the arguments and the discussions. I'm fine with that and what everybody wants to do. Just, whatever you do, as long as you do it in love, it's like the point. The question doesn't matter as long as the answer is love. If the answer is love, it's the right answer. Mean it in love. You hit somebody in the head with the purse, as long as you mean it in love because you're trying to have some fun, it's about the intent. If you're trying to hurt the person, then that's violence, that's something different. I gave him some tea, he'll be all right. All right, get some tea. Good morning, Judith. Good morning, Michelle. I'm so lucky I got one of these farm men. Yes, you are, Michelle. Michelle gonna make, who's that? Michelle Osterday? You gonna live. Michelle Osterday is gonna survive the apocalypse and the greatest depression has ever been. Great. Because it ain't normal out there. But all those women, Michelle, don't be gloating. You lucked up, girl. All those women got that man with that Benz, got that BMW, put a big house, got all that for you, got all that money in that bank account. Yeah. It's not funny. It's not funny. But survival of the fittest is a thing and it's never stopped. You need to look at the times that you're in and think about what you need to be doing for the future. And I'm not saying to go out and get a divorce. I'm not saying throw the boyfriend or the girlfriend away, nothing like that. I'm saying look at the future and see the very clear and present danger and ask yourself, do you need to be educating yourself on what the Kardashians are doing? Or do you really need to be doing Netflix binges right now? Or do you have children that like to eat food and drink water and have a place to live? Do you need to learn how to work with your hands? Somebody mentioned that to me the other day. They were talking about their kid and they were saying that, my son is going into vocational school and I'm a little concerned because I wanted him to go to college. And I was like, right now, that's probably the right move. If you work with your hands, people locally will need you. If what you do is on the internet, if what you do is in a book, if what you're doing can be done over broadband, yeah, you might want to rethink that going into a depression. People are going to need you to fix their houses, fix their cars, grow food for them, do things with your hands, electrician, plumbing, like real world things. So yeah, I think we'll get back to the fake world things, the evolved technological world things, but that's going to be after we go through the hard times, right? This is why your grandparents told you about the hard times, why they always had pantries and they always taught to save seeds and do those things. It's why they told you that, it's like Brother John was saying a minute ago, right? You need to know how to defend yourself because you got a government that they literally told you it's not our job to defend you, right? It's our job to go out and find somebody who abused you and killed you and raped you and burned your house down after they stole everything. We'll write some reports and go get that guy if they can. But you have to look out for you. And so that's why y'all need to rethink this whole anti-gun thing. I'm not an anti-gun person. I mean, look at the times that we are in and determine the things that you need. Survival of the fittest has never stopped. Is when you tell your man friend or your woman friend, hey, listen, maybe we do need to go for more walks in the park. Maybe we have put on a few extra pounds that I don't think we want to carry into the future. We don't know really what's coming. Absolutely, Brother Bark, self-empowerment. Maybe, yeah, we do need to cut back. I'm actually cutting back on the apple pie. I'm cutting back on the apple pie. And it's not because I got tired of seeing my stomach. When I sit down, like, what the hell is that? That's when we were younger, we didn't have that. You get to be 29, you look down like, what the hell? Where did you come from? And you stand up and it goes away and you sit down. Even I'm cutting back. Nah, I get my apple pie every now and then, but now's not the time. Now's the time that you need to build up your immune system and get strong. And it's okay to have that little curl thing that does that thing when you sit down. I'm not saying you need to get rid of it. I'm just saying that you need to do things to make sure that you're fit. Maybe you should be going for a walk in the park. Maybe you should take a course in knowing how to grow food, knowing how to save seeds, knowing how to can. Maybe you should go to your grocery store and ask that question, well, why do the grocery stores now have canning sections? That kind of boggled my mind with Wegmans. They knew what's coming. The billionaires, they know what's coming. Go to your grocery store and tell me, grocery stores that never had canning supplies, they now have canning supplies. Wegmans, they used to have like a little can here, there, like, a few little packages in one little obscure section. Now they got a whole canning rack full of all the different canning supplies you need. They know what's coming. Do you? Go to your Home Depot. Are the tomatoes discounted? I was there this morning. I can tell you right now. In the summertime when it's 93 degrees, they give them things away. They give them away. They got to get rid of them. They ain't giving nothing away. They ain't giving nothing away. I bought me 2 cherry trees a long time ago because I go to the bargain racks, the Home Depot, because they don't take care of their plants. And 2 cherry trees, 99 cents each. They had buds and new growth, but they weren't sellable. All the other leaves fell off. And you could buy that. I went over there this morning. They didn't have the discount rack. They didn't have it. I'm not saying that they don't have it. As mine didn't have it. I'm giving you an observation. Maybe yours does, and maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree, but I'm sniffing things that aren't smelling right. They're not discounting any of their vegetables. This time of year, they don't like to really keep them. They're reducing them, and they lower the price. They put them on sale. Nothing was on sale. None of them. Hard times are coming. So you might want to do that. It's not too late to plant. You can still go get you some tomatoes. You can still go get you some peppers. And it's not less late. I can't really get a good crop of it. It's not about you getting a good crop. It's about you empowering yourself to know how to do some things that we didn't have to do for a long time. Just in case. It'll be great if 6 months we go look back and we laugh at this. It'll be a lot worse if in 6 months you're crying or your kids are crying. Right? It's about know-how. It's a lot of people that got land. As long as you know how to put a few seeds in the ground, a few plants in the ground, and you learn from that event, it's a good idea that you put some tomatoes in the ground and the deer come and eats them. And then you learn that there are deer in your neighborhood, and like you're learning, right? It's survival. You got to know how to survive. We've forgotten how to survive. We believe this fake world that they gave us because they made slavery so delectable that we didn't have shacks. We had wall-to-wall carpeted McMansions. They gave us this fake world for so long, we don't know how. Most people can't even sit in the house without air conditioning. You see me? It is literally, 94, whatever it is. I don't know air conditioning. You know how to put a fan in the window? Let some cool air in. I'm just not in the fan like when I was a kid doing mother yell at you, stop that! I said, you stop playing in that fan. And then that's when that shoe comes. All right, I'm just kidding. No, that you put a fan in the window, how to cool your house down, right? Don't have your bedroom on the hot side of the house. It might be that they turn the power off. If we don't accept the new normal, I would turn your power off. That's what I would do. If you don't accept the new normal, yeah, I'd make you feel some pain. It's not like the government's even lying about it. They're already telling you the stuff that you won't be able to do unless you got that mark of the beast. That vaccine, accept the new normal, won't let you leave your house. We need to get ready for what's coming and stop pretending that we don't see the signs. Wild wide world in his hands. I mean, the whole wide world in his hands. Well, yeah, and that's that faith part. No, Clifford, don't. You singing a song. He's got the whole world in his hands. I was in Sunday school. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands, and he'll let you learn your lesson. He'll let you get sick. All right. That's a couple comments. I'm going to go. Know your watts. AC can be cheaper than old fans. Oh, Brother Mark, I didn't know that. That's deep. Good to know that. Good to know that. But also know how to make a fan out of paper in case there's no power. Bird is the word. Oh, look, no club. Where are you? You singing songs this morning? Bird is the word, bird, and the bird is a word. Now the bird, but bird's a word. All right, I'm sorry. I don't even know who sings that. I don't know. Mike, we don't know clip stock. Cut that out. All right. Align. Look at all your inconsistencies, honesty, and work hard to resolve them. Not an order, just a recommendation. It has helped me immediately. Yeah, well, Kim, we stopped doing that because we stopped surviving, right? Like, we stopped critical thinking. Like, we say people are ignorant, and they are ignorant, but they actually evolved to become what's successful at that time, right? For the time we lived in, it was good to be self-centered. It was good to be selfish. It was good to play the victim. It was good to trust the politics and win your side's thing, right? Like, to get rid of critical thought and go along with the system, it was very profitable for a while. Now it's not, right? And so people have to adapt and shift back to those skills in using critical thought. Critical thought is what saves you in rough times, right? You need to be able to think yourself through a situation. You got to use strategy. You got to use skills. You got to be street smart. You got to go back to knowing those things and how to survive in the days that come. So, and critical self-examination, I think is how you get there. You have to critically examine yourself at all times. You have to constantly look in that mirror. And I'll say this too. And look at what's popular and question that most. Right? Look at what's popular and question that most. Usually if you're along with a popular agenda, if the news is cheering you doing it, it's probably a bad idea if all the news is controlled by those who actually are in bed with those who are actually the powerful people who run the country. All right, work in many prisons. Some good people in there have even helped me on my job, open my eyes. Mark, I think the prisons are full of a lot of good people. A lot of good people. A lot of good people. A lot of critical thinkers are in prison. You know what? We talked about that a minute ago, Mark. That's what the war on drugs did. It took all the street smart people, the people who would defy the government, the people that would become the Martin Luther Kings and the JFKs, those who don't have the fear that the others have, who would do what they have to for their families to survive, and they put them in prison. Prison is full of a lot of critical thinking people, which is why they needed to break them. They needed to break them. That's why they don't do anything about the pedophilia in the prisons that they send these little kids into. They need to break them. All right. You ever question that? Why do they keep prisons as such the abusive camps that they are? It's because they need to take the people who would defy the system, defy the law, even though it's their constitutional right to grow plants or sell plants or medicine or whatever you have. And the majority of people in our prisons, it's all about the war on drugs. And break them, rape them, beat them, abuse them, put them in cages with bigger monsters and break their spirits. Actually, I know Ghislaine Vukovic, whatever her name is, with Epstein, her girlfriend. That's how I know that it's insignificant that they arrested her. It doesn't mean anything. They always serve up patsies. Their model is still abusing the youth. It's still abusing kids, right? Because they're still doing it. They haven't moved 1 inch in stopping the abuse of children. That's why I don't hashtag Black Lives Matter or White Lives. Well, no, actually I did do white, and I did do Black Lives. That was a long time ago. I've changed. I now only do No Lives Matter because No Lives Matter. This system is modeled in abuse. And you're not going to fight the system from within the system using the tools and the political parties that the system gave you. Use the narratives and the movements. Like I asked the question the other day, she said, do you think the movement's been co-opted? And I'm not even sure what movement she was talking about. Who asked me that? Sister Nina. And I didn't even ask her what movement she was talking about. I said, yeah, it's co-opted. I said, yeah. I didn't even ask her to move me. I was going to go click on the profile and go see what her race was or blah, 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 and what country she was in. I didn't have to. Yeah, it was co-opted. They're always co-opted. The minute that anything becomes powerful enough to have a blind following where people will not critically think and question what that group is doing, it's always co-opted. Every movement has always been co-opted. That's how the United States Incorporation gets down, and that's how all the other nations get down if they're a NATO ally. Every single movement is always co-opted. If you aren't questioning what they're doing, why they're doing it, when they're doing it, if it's working, if not, and arguing amongst in that group and everybody's getting along and you got s'mores and you're singing good old Negro spirituals, that's not a movement. All right. I was an activist. You know you're in a movement when it's like Occupy. Y'all fighting amongst each other. Y'all fighting like the people here because you're actually passionate and you actually give a damn. When people don't give a damn, oh, they just get along, get along to get along. Stepping and fetching. They'll go along with anything they say. I just stopped with the movement. I'm pretty sure she was probably talking about Black Lives Matter, but you know, but once again, the people at the top of that movement, they have real gripes with the system. They're just going about it the wrong way. You don't go get an international billionaire that plays people for a living, made all his money with currency and market manipulations, and people died, and say, hey, can you help us? It's the wrong place to go. He's going to set you up. And that's what he did. So, but everybody's got a legitimate gripe. The question is, are we going to throw our Sabo into the machine? Are we going to, was that the French or the Dutch? I forgot, where did Sabo come from? The traditional Sabo, where the word sabotage comes from. Which was the point of this video. You need to overthrow what your last king said. Your last king said, beware of secret societies. Once you know it's a secret society that has all the power and he dies, you know those secret societies killed him, and that actually is what controls your world. He said the elections are, I mean, let's do the JFK speech. I want to go do it. You know why? I just want to do the secret society portion because I have trouble finding it now. Is anyone else noticing that? Used to go and type in JFK secret societies and it would just pop up. You would see like 20 of those videos. I actually had to look for it this morning. I had to look for it and I couldn't find it. A whole bunch of other speeches came up. His secret society speech didn't come up. Eisenhower military industrial complex speech. You would get a whole bunch of them. Now I think I saw 2 of his, right? And I had to dig and change the keywords around to find his secret society speech. I forgot where we're supposed to start on this.
Its alteration at the expense of considerable time and money. The newspapers which printed these stories were loyal, patriotic, responsible, and well-meaning. Had we been engaged in open warfare?
Let's go. Let's do this. Y'all want to do this?
Or is it my purpose tonight to discuss or defend?
I'm gonna let y'all vote on it. I kind of want to hear the speech. I don't want to hear the whole thing. Does anybody, you guys, want to just jump around and kind of compare today and what he says to today? I asked that question because I want y'all to decide. I know a lot of y'all hang in and want to do the whole thing because you know your friends are here. If y'all want to jump around, maybe pick just random couple spots, listen to a few minutes and see if it still applies to today. If y'all want to do that, we can do that. Because I can't really garden too much today. It's going to be hot. I can work on some plumbing, do some other things. You want to hear Allison? Okay, good. I do too, because you know what? When I go back and listen to Martin Luther King and JFK, John Lennon, some of the greats, there was a whole bunch of stuff I missed. It's like when I go back and read scripture. Like there are things that you can only see when your mind is open and ready to see them. Does that make sense to you? It's like the media. The few times I watch the news, I watch it with scrutiny. The few times I listen to my political friends in movements, I always listen to them with scrutiny. But there are things that you don't get until the dots are ready to connect. All right, let's do that. Let's just jump around. It's only 20 minutes, so I'm just going to do a few minutes here and there.
Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate very much your generous invitation to be here tonight. You bear heavy responsibilities these days, and an article I read some time ago reminded me of how particularly heavily the burdens of present-day events bear upon your profession. You may remember that
Hang on, I want to stop for a second there. I want to qualify the words that come out of his mouth before they come out of his mouth. Like, just pretend for a minute. Just imagine that you live in a world where the truth isn't on television. Imagine you live in a world where politicians are told what to do by corporations and secret societies. Imagine you live in a world that the real power, the corporations, the groups, industries, they kill people who say things that would defy their profit. Imagine for a minute that you are a president and you can't say the details, but you can help the public to realize what's wrong with the country then, which didn't change because they killed him, so it's still what's wrong with the country and the world now. Imagine you live in a time where the world's most prominent mushroom mycelium grower, speaker, lecturer, Paul Stamens, can't even talk about portobello mushrooms on a podcast because he's afraid of an industry or a corporation or somebody who threatened his life, so he won't go through the details of why you shouldn't eat portobello mushrooms. Imagine you live in that time where politicians are restricted and can only talk around the real issues, and then listen to what he's saying. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't pretend he's a president who's all powerful and they can say anything they want to say. Pretend that they're always being controlled by industries that, if not will kill them, will ruin their lives. Just think about that for a minute, then listen to his words.
In 1851, New York Herald Tribune, under the sponsorship and publishing of Horace Greeley, employed as its London correspondent an obscure journalist by the name of Karl Marx. We are told that foreign correspondent Marx, stone broke, and with a family ill and undernourished, constantly appealed to Greeley and managing editor Charles Dana for an increase in his munificent salary of $5 per installment, a salary which he and Ingalls ungratefully labeled as the lousiest petty bourgeois cheating. But when all his financial appeals were refused, Marx looked around for other means of livelihood and fame, eventually terminating his relationship with the Tribune and devoting his talents full-time to the cause that would bequeath to the world the seeds of Leninism, Stalinism, revolution, and the Cold War. If only this capitalistic New York newspaper had treated him more kindly, if only Marx had remained a foreign correspondent, history might have been different. And I hope all publishers will bear this lesson in mind the next time they receive a poverty-stricken appeal from a small increase in the expense account from an obscure newspaper man. I have selected as the title of my remarks tonight, "The President and the Press." Some may suggest that this would be more naturally worded, "The President versus the Press," but those are not my sentiments tonight. It is true, however, that when a well-known diplomat from another country demanded recently that our State Department repudiate certain newspaper attacks on his colleagues, it was unnecessary for us to reply that this administration was not responsible for the press, for the press had already made it clear that it was not responsible for this administration. Nevertheless, my purpose here tonight is not to deliver the usual assault on the so-called one-party press.
So there's things that are happening at this time, and I don't remember all the things that were happening at that time. I'm only 29. I was only a twinkle in my papa's eye. But I find it interesting that he is appealing to the press, and he mentions the press various times, right? My mind and what I'm seeing in this is I'm seeing a man that realizes the power of the press. Do we realize the power of the press today? If not, go to your local Home Depot and ask yourself, do you see grown adults walking in blue face diapers?
On the contrary, in recent months, I have rarely heard any complaints about political bias in the press, except from a few Republicans. Nor is it my purpose tonight to discuss or defend the televising of presidential press conferences. I think it is highly beneficial to have some 20 million Americans regularly sit in on these conferences to observe, if I may say so, the incisive, the intelligent, and the courteous qualities displayed by your Washington correspondents. Nor, finally, are these remarks intended to examine the proper degree of privacy which the press should allow to any president and his family. If, in the last few months, your White House reporters and photographers have been attending church services with regularity, that has surely done them no harm. On the other hand, I realize that your staff and wire service photographers may be complaining that they do not enjoy the same green privileges, the local golf courses, which they once did. It is true that my predecessor did not object, as I do, to pictures of one's golfing skill in action. But neither, on the other hand, did he ever be a Secret Service man. My topic tonight is a more sober one, of concern to publishers as well as editors. I want to talk about our common responsibilities in the face of a common danger.
Interesting. Interesting. There is a culture of that. And that's no clip. That's the impression you're. That's the impression I'm getting too. Is he's buttering them up to tell them something sober, that he needs their help. He understands the power of media. He understands the power of mass media. He understands that perhaps he doesn't have many friends in the White House, or probably in the country at the time, that the only way that they were going to take on the secret societies he was about to tell them about is with a press that is fair and balanced, a press that is honest, a press that isn't playing Democrat or Republican, it's not playing capitalist or communist, a press that isn't playing America versus someone else, but a press that is just honest and reporting the truth. Like that's what I get. I feel like he's buttering them up. That's that little piece of street smart in me. You try to butter me up too early, I know that there's something that you want that is very important. Now, I probably ain't gonna give it to you because you're buttering me, but he's making an obvious intent. And I don't remember his speech from back then, so y'all can tell me if he always spoke that friendly and kindly to the press, if he always started off with some jokes to butter him up and get them to embrace what he had to say next, because it was of the uttermost significance for the President of the United States, in a speech to the people, speak to the press first and butter them up.
The events of recent weeks may have helped to illuminate that challenge for some, but the dimensions of its threat have loomed large on the horizon for many years. Whatever our hopes may be for the future, for reducing this threat or living with it, there is no escaping either the gravity or the totality of its challenge to our survival and to our security.
He's talking about survival and security. He's not talking about liberty and democracy and freedom. He's literally talking about the survival of a nation because of security. It is under a threat, and he's asking the press for help. Not the FBI, not the CIA. There was no Homeland Security at the time, not the police. He's asking the press for help because the entryway into the citizen's mind is through an honest press. The key to destroying this country, like any group of people, is through their belief and what they believe.
a challenge that confronts us in unaccustomed ways in every sphere of human activity. This deadly challenge imposes upon our society two requirements of direct concern, both to the press and to the President. Two requirements that may seem almost contradictory in tone, but which must be reconciled and fulfilled if we are to meet this national peril. I refer first to the need for far greater public information, and second, to the need for far greater official secrecy. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify.
So what you're witnessing is a sitting president turning on a deep state. You're witnessing a sitting president turning on security agencies that are said to protecting him. You're witnessing a president that's telling you you have an imminent threat that can only be taken on by open media, the president, and no more secrecy. This is why Brother Mark posts all the time. Mark, once again, he's Washington, D.C. area, IT person. He's got the mind that I have. There are things that he's saying when he says open source that you really need to think about. An open source world is a free world. A world where your government has total secrecy will never be free. You will never have liberty. You will never be free. You might have it the first second, but it's going to defy you anywhere it can because of what he talks about, right? So the threat of secrecy far outweighs the threat or far outweighs what security can bring, right? That if they can deny you information, they can convince you of anything. The complete opposite of what I see now, and the complete opposite of what I saw the last president. The last president wrote a propaganda act so that he could lie to you. He wrote he forced the kill list into the NDAA so he could kill Americans. I see a president that's speaking against every president I saw coming after, right? Obama created more prisons than elementary schools, and Trump put more funding in the police and the security state to help the deep state and roll out 5G, which is a security police state tool, than anybody else. And then once again, it's not a hit on Obama, it's not a hit on Trump. If you still live in that political world, God bless you, I love you, but that is not how this world has ever worked. And then the other thing I think about when I watch this speech is that when the speech was written, when any speech is written, you go over every last word, all the meaning, right? There's a lot of meaning to every word. And he made sure he chose certain words in what is probably the most important speech he ever gave next to his speech on peace with Russia.
Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it.
Survival of a nation. Once again, not keeping it, not politicking it, not survival. Like, once again, coming into a Great Depression, are you prepared for what you need to do? Are you with the people that are going to help you do the things that you need to do to help your community and yourself to live? He's telling you that you are facing an imminent threat where you need to tap into your survival skills, not the ignorant skills. That you have to fight like a war is being waged against you.
And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment.
Does that sound familiar to anybody? Is that that the power will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning in the very limits of official censorship and concealment. Today, the very ones that you go to for your safety are the very ones who are rolling out a medical police state. The very ones that you are going to help you fight with your neighbor who has the same foe as you are the ones who will take your rights and never give them back. Didn't we say that a while ago? That power concedes nothing without demands? That if they get martial law and get this military on the street, they're never going to get them off. They're not going to remove them. When they put those checkpoints in, they're not going to go anywhere. Government, when it seizes your rights and your power, it keeps it. So you take it back by demand or force. Right? You never give your oppressor more power, no matter who you're scared of, no matter what's going on, right? The TSA is a good example. Is the TSA still at the airport? I haven't flown in a long time. Y'all can tell me. Maybe they took it out. Maybe they did. Are people still blowing up airplanes? You think that's bad air you're breathing? I'm sorry. I got to watch The Matrix. Morpheus got me going. TSA is still there. They get martial law, they're not going to take it back. Once they get that, they're going to make sure that they sell you drugs from any drug maker that requires it. You're going to have masks from any mask maker that requires it. You're going to have any software on your phone or your computer that they require. You're going to have whatever tracking devices on the car that these IT companies buy. We are definitely witnessing a global power grab-demic more than anything else by massive corporations and what they're taking from people. This is interesting. He sounds like you could take him and put him in today, and what he's saying is extremely valid as to what's going on right now. That's how little things have changed, and if anything, that's how you know that threat is still there.
That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
The facts they deserve to know. What are you spraying out the airplanes? What's in the water? What's in the food? What is a virus really? Are big chemical pharmaceutical companies really here to help? Did we really cure polio, or did we just start living cleaner? Like the facts that they're denied, where they're off running chasing pseudoscience, right? They deny you the facts. The fact that they keep talking about the numbers of people that are dying, and the people who even made the PCR test say that it doesn't work, right? You know, the fact that the immune system, what did Del Bigtree say yesterday? Blew my mind. He said 99.7% of people get the cuckoo virus and their immune system is 99.7% effective. That your body beats it and it goes away. And the very, very, very few people that died in comparison to the vaccine, and according to Fauci, I thought he said he'd be willing to accept 50 to 75% effectiveness. So you mean to tell me that you'd rather take a product made by a corporation that's 50 to 75% effective as opposed to an immune system that's 99.7% effective? I used to play with statistics a long time ago, and I'm not the best at math. But to me, it damn sure sounds like somebody's either washing over or covering up some facts that you might need to know.
But I do ask every publisher, every editor, and every newsman in the nation to re-examine his own standards and to recognize the nature of our country's peril. In time of war, the government and the press have customarily joined in an effort based largely on self-discipline to prevent unauthorized disclosures to the enemy. In times of clear and present danger, the courts have held that even the privileged rights of the First Amendment must yield to the public's need for national security. Today, no war has been declared, and however fierce the struggle may be, it may never be declared in the traditional fashion.
I'm getting the hot sweats. I'm getting hot sweats. Said Gerard, we know you ain't got no damn air conditioner. Yeah, that's part of it. I don't have air conditioner privilege. That's not the point. You know what he just said? He just said, you ever see anybody, these crazy people that follow me around? I follow them around too, called quiet weapons for silent wars. You ever see any of these people say anything like, oh, well, World War III started, it's almost over? Do you find it interesting that you're listening to a sitting president that's telling you that you are at war with an enemy? He is at war. He's saying in times of war, the press and government must work together because the threats are imminent and you're at war. This is a president who is at war. But of course, he can't come out and say the details because, of course, he probably knows that they are in his secret security. Somebody told me that Trump has private security. I don't know why my brain variated over there, but is that true? Does he have he has private security? Found that to be interesting.
Our way of life is under attack. Those who make themselves our enemy are advancing around the globe.
Not a global fight. You seeing these crazy people say anything about we need to be global citizens? That all the powers are obviously global because they're telling nations and continents what to do? What to wear, when to shut down, what economies to throw away. If the powers are all global, he's telling you this is a global cabal. That you don't have time for arguing and fussing with people in China and Russia and Britain, everywhere else. That the people who have this power have already dominated and are at war with your nation, and you need to start working together like you got some damn sense. It's today as it did yesterday. Back then. But the only difference now is that they've been just nestled in so deep and for so long that at that time maybe the solution might have been a lot easier. But I see a president who feels that he's at war, calling on the press to please fight this like you are at war and to please fight this like it's global.
The survival of our friends is in danger, and yet no war has been declared. No borders have been crossed by marching troops. No missiles have been fired. If the press is awaiting a declaration of war before it imposes the self-discipline of combat conditions, then I can only say that no war ever posed a greater threat to our security. If you are awaiting a finding of clear and present danger, then I can only say that the danger has never been more clear, and its presence has never been more imminent. It requires a change in outlook, a change in tactics, a change in missions by the government, by the people, by every businessman or labor leader, and by every newspaper.
You know what? It requires a change in outlook, a change in tactics, right? You're fighting an enemy that you won't see. You're fighting an enemy that has a more powerful weapon than tanks, than bombs, than guns and airplanes. You're fighting an enemy that fights so strategically well, that fights for such total resolve that it doesn't use violence, not physical violence. And so he's calling on the entities that he feels that can oppose this secret, quiet enemy that opposes the very existence of the United States of America. And he's saying you got to fight it by government. You got to fight it by the people. You gotta fight it by every businessman, small business, medium-sized businesses, fighting massive international conglomerates that buy all of the things listed above and possibly below. Labor leaders in every newspaper. Does anybody see anything about black people? I'm sorry. Does anybody see anything about white people? Does anybody see anything about Native Americans? Does anybody see anything about the Christians? Does anybody see anything about the Muslims? This man is the most supposedly powerful man on the planet. He's telling you about a war that's being waged quietly, globally, and he's so scared he avoided all his birth bigotry and identity to call on the help of everybody to oppose it.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion.
Before he goes there, someone else who said it, David Icke. What did he say? He said that you oppose a global cult. And you thought he was crazy when he said it. Here's a sitting president telling you that you're opposing a secret society that is a global cult. And when he said it, he was removed from the media. Do you think that's bad air that you're breathing? On infiltration instead of invasion. Wait. Infiltration instead of invasion. Act of 1871, creating a Washington, D.C., an invasion in your land, turning your government into a governing corporation. Infiltrating instead of invading. Invading doesn't work because people know that's a war. Infiltration works because you can just legalize, write it, and put it in a law. And most people who vote for legislators don't read law, so you know it'll work. And then the next thing, which remember, he's putting his speech together. He's choosing each word like he's at war. On subversion instead of elections. Who y'all voting for in 2020? Who you voting for? And that's why you see all these crazy people over here talking about consent, manufactured consent, and it doesn't actually matter who you vote for. It matters not. You are at war with people that can quietly get anybody to do anything, including me. See these crazy people over here? All my crazy friends? They say anything about we don't need any leaders anymore? And I forgot who even taught me that. One of these crazy nut jobs over here said, every leader is a master. That's a master-slave relationship. If you're over the age of 12, and it could have been Ty. Ty's pretty damn condescending. It's either Ty or Tony, I don't know which. But you don't need a leader. If you're over the age of 10, damn it, how come you can tie your shoes, you can walk, you can put on your face diaper by yourself? Maybe you need to question if you need a face diaper. Maybe you can make your own decisions. Maybe you can be a sovereign. Maybe you can pick and choose what you want in life. Maybe you're designed to work that way. Maybe human beings need free will. If they don't free will, it'll piss them off and make them join the White Nationals or the Skinheads, the Ku Klux Klan, and they're justified. Maybe it'll make them join the MS-13 because they ain't got nothing because you blew up their country. Maybe it'll make them join the Skinheads and the Bloods and the Crips because they were born in squalor. And none of the adults at the time gave two damns because they were doing too well living in a McMansion and a wall-to-wall carpeting. And they could post pretty nice pictures of all the vacations they've taken and all the things they did because they live in a society that praises the mental illness of taking joy in what other people don't have. I think that's bad air that you're breathing.
Instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day.
Say something on that. Intimidation instead of choice. If they can intimidate everybody, if you can kill a sitting president, you can intimidate anybody you want to. That was the ultimate. You basically said that you can take out the biggest guy, right? When two gangs fight, what do? You take out the biggest guy. And if you show them, what movie? Oh, goodness gracious. That's one of my favorite movies. 13th Warrior. Have y'all seen the 13th Warrior? You should watch it. Great, great movie. But when two opposing gangs meet each other, this particular event were Vikings, the smallest one said, no, I'm going to go beat the biggest one. Beat the hell out of the biggest one he could find. Why? Because it teaches your enemy that they don't know what to expect. They have no idea what to expect. You totally intimidated them because they don't know what to expect. If your littlest guy can beat our biggest guy, we got issues. See, they killed the sitting president, I don't think because JFK could do anything by his damn self. I think he wanted to let every single politician, every single leader, and anybody in the heads of any other societies know that we have the power and we can take out the biggest guy that you got. We can take out your most powerful man anytime that we choose. Nobody will oppose that, right? Intimidation. That's why Donald Trump will not take on the deep state. Hell no, he ain't that stupid. I don't think he is. That's why Barack Obama didn't. That's why I wouldn't. That's why nobody would. You don't need a leader. It doesn't matter if you have a leader. Oh, that's what I told the sister the other day. She asked me, was the movement co-opted? That was the other thing I told her. It was a post. I gave a few my thoughts. And I just said, yeah, every movement's co-opted. And I said, if you want to be successful, you can't have any leaders, and you got to question every narrative. You got to have all individual automatons doing something on a principle level. And they all got to make their own decisions. They all got to choose what they do. If you have any leaders, Every leader, for the same reason that every movement is co-opted, every leader will be compelled, will be intimidated. That's just what the United States Incorporation does. That's what all the massive corporations do that control everything.
It's a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. It conducts the Cold War.
Remember I told y'all, there are no secrets. There are no secrets. There are things that are private, but there are no secrets. They know everything. Everything you post, when you post it, who posts it, and exactly where everybody's at. There are no secret heroes. There's no one out there trying to save you working from in this corporation. Because no secrets are revealed. I've never done this before, but I'll probably go back and listen to this again and just go word for word comparing to today, right? And the NSA today is significantly more powerful than what the FBI was back then. I mean, we knew back then they recorded every damn phone call in America. They had all Martin Luther King's phone calls, right? They were monitoring him way back then. No expenditures questioned. What happened the day before 9/11? A couple $1 trillion disappeared. Its dissenters are silenced, which is killed or silenced or intimidated. They're not praised, so good becomes bad, bad becomes good, which is what's happening today. No expenditure questioned, no rumor is printed, and no secrets are revealed, period. They own it all. They own you, as George Carlin says. That's why you got these two sides that are like, oh, we got somebody that's opposing the deep state. There is nobody opposing this deep state. They had it all back then, and they've only grown more powerful in the last 60 years. And highly technological on technologies that we don't even know exist yet.
No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. It conducts the Cold War, in short, with a wartime discipline no democracy would ever hope or wish to match. Nevertheless, every democracy recognizes the necessary restraints of national security. And the question remains whether those restraints need to be more strictly observed if we are to oppose this kind of attack as well as outright invasion. For the facts of the matter are that this nation's foes have openly boasted of acquiring through our newspapers information they would otherwise hire agents to acquire through theft, bribery, or espionage. That details of this nation's covert preparations to counter the enemy's covert operations have been available to every newspaper reader, friend and foe alike. That the size, the strength, the location, and the nature of our forces and weapons, and our plans and strategy for their use, have all been pinpointed in the press and other news media to a degree sufficient to satisfy any foreign power. And that
I guess when I see that, I don't know exactly the color of what they were talking about back then, but I see the idea that those within the country are working with those without. The idea that those who are supposed to be foes are actually working with those that are enemies. The idea that the cuckoo virus is made in Wuhan, China, versus it being made in Fort Detrick and given to our enemies intentionally. That we have no control over this deep state, that they work with our enemies, that they become the enemy, that they create the ISIS, they create the virus, they create the problems they can turn around and usurp power. All right, I'm done with that. I'm just gonna read comments. But go back and listen to it. It's crazy how so little has changed. But there's so many people who believe in mermaids and Bigfoot and aliens, and I'm not talking about mermaids and Bigfoot and aliens, damn it. Those are plausible. We don't know nothing about nature. We only know what's at the bottom of the ocean. The Kraken could be down there. We know what's in Washington. We know what's always in Washington. We were told way back then. All right. Anyway, so y'all can go ahead and finish watching that. I actually got to get some work done today. I'm glad that y'all can sit around, enjoy your, ain't got to go to Slavery Today privilege. I got to do some work. All right. Malcolm too. They recorded him as well. Yeah, they did, Harley, and they knew what he was doing. They knew what he was saying, and as long as he was Black Power, he was good to go. I've said that a bunch of times, right? As long as you have no clue what to do and you don't take on these people effectively, they'll cheer you. They give you $100 million. They'll get you out there, put out some bricks on the street for you, try to help you out. They'll do anything they can to help you. As long as you with the Nation of Islam yelling Black Power, kill Whitey, and you get the people on that side scared that they join a group and they like kill you too, and back and forth. As long as you're not opposing them, you're a tool for them. But the minute that Malcolm reached out to white folk to work with white folk, then they killed him. They let the Nation of Islam kill him because they were watching the Nation of Islam too. So they let the Nation of Islam kill him. Same thing with it's the pattern is ridiculous. You will know when you actually oppose these people because they kill you. So what we need to do with our critical thought is think about the people in power who were killed. Those were the ones who successfully opposed what we need to oppose, and what they said and how to do it is where we need to pick up and what we need to be doing. Once again, did he say anything about movements and politics and white people and black? He said we need to defy a global power together, from business to labor union, all people, and it still might not work. All right. Your perspective is your power. Absolutely, Jeannie, and everybody has one, and we need to hear everybody's perspective. Karma police like de-retuned radio. Well, karma police is a real thing, no Clef, which is why I don't really do any complaining. Like, yeah, I'm like, it's a bad thing that there's something out here maybe released in the air. I don't know. It's a bad thing. Maybe we're gonna live poor for a little while, go through a depression. But you know, the karma police is a real thing, and if we bombed and destroyed nations and destroyed their economy with bombers and mother of all bombs and economic hitmen and all the ways that we've done it, then yeah, it was probably fitting that that would come back to us. You know, the question is, what do we do? Damn sure be grateful, Miss Tree. Absolutely. I think it would be easier to build on the land with straw bale cob structures, but as far as taxes, it's better to keep the land as design, ag and forest, and recreational land, and live in a tiny house. Well, Citizen Deb, I mean, my perspective on that is that, yeah, I mean, cob, straw bale, great idea. But there are a lot of other building materials you can use, and hemp is another one. Taxes, I don't believe in. I mean, I pay them because they got mass prison industrial complex and people with guns that will murder me if I don't, or enslave me into a different type of slavery. But none of that should exist. You know, I like the one, you know me, I know I like the Venus Project and Zeitgeist movement. There's no reason why we can't live on the land and everybody have land that they cultivate or land that they rent. Some people can live in efficiencies in cities if that's what they want to do and rent that land to corporations or other people to grow food, you know, use automated robots to grow on. But that's the beauty of learning software and AI, is that it can grow food forest without using a massive combine that creates soil compaction so the food is healthier. I think we can give people, I think my goal, I think, Citizen Deb, with that and what the future looks like, is giving people as much as you can so they can be who they need to be. You give them the land and don't give them too many restrictions. I think how we got here is we went way down that train of telling each other what to do. And I think we have to go back to accepting that everybody's sovereign and given the right conditions, we all become who we're supposed to. And we all know we need the land and we'll all take care and cultivate the land. It might be a little rough at first, but I think people, once those acres are distributed, people will take care of their land. And if they don't, then we change the environment to help them to see clearly that if we don't have the microbiology in the soil and the deer doesn't have grazing and the cows don't have grazing and everything else that we have going on, or the bees aren't being poisoned by the neonic pesticides that our government subsidizes, ends up in our water that we piss out. You know, I think we change the environment and the people will change the future. Right? We have to fix the environment and people will fix the future. Malcolm got killed because he was about to expose Elijah Muhammad, pedo, but that's possible too, Harry. There are probably a lot of reasons, but I think the main reason is he figured out how to fight the system, was together. That's the correlation that I always say. I think they could have killed, and maybe that could be why the Nation of Islam killed him. But the deep state stepped back, let him get killed because he was working with white folk. He wasn't abusing white folk. He wasn't telling white folk that they got to accept white privilege. He wasn't telling them to go out in the street and beat themselves with chains and kneel and beg and kiss the black feet. He didn't do that. He just said, yeah, we need to work with white folk and black folk to resolve this, and they murdered him. To me, that's the significant thing, because Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, was not with the Nation of Islam, but he got killed too. And he got killed right after working with the white people and the Vietnamese people. So the correlation I see there is that whenever you decide that you want to, at a principle level, stand up for equality and a dream for all, that's when the system kills you. As long as you're in conflict with other people, the system is fine with you. As long as you're fighting for reparations for some and you can feed everybody, you got enough food for all the kids sitting at the table, but you just want to feed some of them, you just want to help some of them. As long as you want revenge, the system loves you. It'll give you $100 million. But if you try to work with everybody and feed everybody's kids and make a better future for everybody, it'll murder you cold. RFK Jr. speaks truth with Judy Miscavige, Del Bigtree, and Rashid Buttar. Yeah, Allison, I love all of them. All of them are people to follow. Infinite love. Y'all have a great weekend. Oh, it's Friday. It's Friday, Kim. Oh, wonderful. Everybody have a great weekend. If y'all don't slave this weekend. I slaved this weekend. I'm strictly a hand-me-down thrift shop type. Though I did actually go shopping at Bob's last year, as it was a present from a housemate, and my summer clothes were too small and tight. Yeah, and then, well, you know, Citizen Dev, and everyone's got to pick and choose where they can live more sustainable. I like thrift shops my damn self. I haven't gone to one in a long time. I really don't buy much at all. So I got this little tiny t-shirt thing that barely fits. No, I don't remember the last time I bought any shirts or clothes or shoes or anything. Most of my pants didn't fit Citizen Dev because after Christmas I ate too much and sat on my butt in the lockdown. And I got out in the garden, but it wasn't enough. And yeah, sure, I could have went out and bought some pants that fit, or I could just stop being a pig and eating all the apple pie in the damn house. And then my pants will fit too. So instead, in the past, Citizen Dev, if my clothes didn't fit, I'd have just went out and bought more slavery-made clothes. This time I said, no, I'm going to get rid of my slave mind and eat healthier and get more active outside until my pants fit. Now they all fit again. I'm good. Well, I might have one or two pair, but I think they shrunk. And that's my story. That's my truth, and I'm sticking to it. But I'm still, getting back to my state of fitness before I went through a phase of lazy. Profitable model will crash every time. Yeah, it will, Mark, because profit doesn't work. Profit doesn't work. And to me, I think that's a principle. I think you cannot have profitable on a free planet. You can't have profitable in Eden. Eden was designed for everything to be free. The only way you make profit is you have to take things from people to compel them to go out and do something so you can make profit from it. Everything is free, from the food, the medicine, the plants grow themselves, the bees do the pollinate. Everything is free. Everything's always been free. The hemp to build your house, the rocks, the whatever you need to, all of that's free. Information is free too. The only way that you make profit is you have to make an unsustainable system of taking things from people to compel them to do work. Money shouldn't exist. Money is just a representation of human labor, and it's because we agree that at birth, every child on this planet is in debt to pay back things that they never even asked for. And the bank gives them debt. Then they must go out and join a conflict-based system called elementary school to get themselves an education so they can work for the billionaires corporation and beat out the other poor kids, get the best degree possible, get the best job, so they can push other people further down the pyramid so they die or go to prison. That system is not sustainable. It'll never work. You can never have a increasingly larger base of a Ponzi scheme pyramid called an economy with a few people at the top. That will always collapse. And we've noticed it just now, just paused. And that's why I think right now, when we all can see that this thing doesn't work and it's paused, now's a good time to take off your shoes. Now's a good time to take off them wooden clogs, the Sabo, and fling them into the machine. Don't fling them in not knowing what to do. Fling them in knowing that we need to break this machine and rebuild something that works for everybody. Not some bodies, not a few bodies, all bodies. People want freedom. There's only one law. Being a minimalist will keep you in shape. Not true, Brett Carey. I might disagree with you. I'm a minimalist. And I ended up in a shape at Christmas time that I did not want to be. I'm a minimalist. But I'm not, well, I guess, no, maybe you're right. I don't know. I was not a minimalist with the apple pie this year. So you've been doing this, all these live streams all the time with no pants on? Yes, that is very true, Beaufont. I never said that, but yes, I don't know how he knows that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have no pants on. I like to be comfortable. Besides, it's 94 degrees right now. You think I'd be sitting here? I'm not sweating. Yeah, damn sure. I could be bucking naked. Yeah, you never know. And that's a great thing about live stream. People waiting for the camera to fall. Oh gosh, that was a worm. That was a worm. Pants and shirts make certain things not free. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. They take the land and they force people to work to have a right to be around the land. Then they got to buy clothes that were free on the land. No, Clef, I'm going to end on that because it reminds me of that video where the poor white folk got caught stealing gas and they had to go to prison. To me, it's a great example. I don't know if that was that in the news? It's like the poor white folks stealing gas. Gas thieves. Oh, let's do this. I'm gonna do this. Let's go look on the internet real quick. I want to see if I type in the word gas thief comes up, if those who steal the most gas are what appear. I don't think that's gonna work. Let me see if I can spell it right. Gas thieves. Let's see if Exxon, Mobil, BP, or anybody comes up. I don't see nothing yet. Oh, I see poor white folk. There you go right there. Thieves steal 700 gallons of diesel gas. Hang on, let's do the images. I like image searches. I see gas. I don't see no oil derricks. I see, let me see, poor person, poor white folk. There's a police officer stopping somebody's not poor. I see some poor black folks. And they want to convince you that these are the gas thieves. These are the people that steal the gas. These are the people that are problematic and they need to go to prison. Meanwhile, the people who actually steal the gas started with Standard Oil and the Rockefellers and going around to other nations using America to blow their nation up to steal their gas, and other nations, Britain, Australia, all the rest of them. We'll never be free if we can't qualify laws and rules so that those who own the most live by the same laws that they give on us. And that's probably why I'm not interested in your politics today at this moment in time. Not just because they don't work, but they don't even believe what they preach. They don't practice what they preach. It's only a crime if you do it. Never a crime if their cronies do it. You only go to prison if you do it. Anyway, this Friday, Freedom Friday, we ain't free. So please stop knocking down the statues. Let them stay up. We are slaves. We want to be free. And there's no way we're going to be free until we accept the principles of where we are. We are in a forced labor tax plantation called an economy. We need to go forth and multiply. No, Clef, I don't read the comments ahead of time. We do not need to go forth and multiply. I'm sorry, I take that back. I was just reading through your last comment. No, we don't. We need to go forth. We need to do less multiplying. Now is not a time to bring those kids in the world. So you need to strap up. You need to make sure that you have it and you use it, because you don't, when you're on tender, you don't want to get the cuckoo flu. But you also want to make no babies. Now is not the time for babies. Now is the time to build a world so that people can have as many babies as they want to, and they're all going to get taken care of. Right now, it's just meat for the fire. All right, I got to go. Fodder for the fire. Y'all have a great day. It's Gerard. Love y'all to death. I'm out here. Free the people. My goodness, free the people. Not part of them, not some of them, all of them. All kids love to eat. All kids need food. All kids are sitting at the table. We can feed all of them. Feed all of them. Stop picking out the ignorant ones that fit your birth bigotry. Love y'all to death. I'm out. Bye-bye.